is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard to the program all over the world, wherever you're tuning in, loving your South Florida sports, living in Portugal, Canada, Fort Lauderdale, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Germany, wherever you're at, wherever we get a text, an email, a DM. Thank you all out there, wherever you're downloading the show, day, nights, weekends. Those of you that are tuning in on the live every day here at 10 a.m., which now we are no more weekend shows. At least for me, I don't know. Maybe Sean has a wrestling show on weekends or something. I don't know. So that may happen. I don't know. But this apparently reports say the Square Circle Digest returns now to the platform. That's rumors have that. I'm not exactly sure. You know what I'm saying? May have to ask some other guy that's on the show here. I don't know. You know, got to run that by him, not by me. But, you know, that's what I hear. It's what I hear. And, you know, sometimes we hear things on this show. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. It didn't end the way we wanted to yesterday, but the performance was one to be proud of with the Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel, and I give them a lot of credit. I got to admit, a lot of credit. That effort yesterday, there was a lot of stuff. Obviously, we talked about it on the post-game show, and we've been talking about it for several weeks. It's not something that's new. We've been talking about it for a while now. McDaniel's in-game decisions have been pretty mediocre throughout, and he's got to get better in that area, and he pretty much cost his team. He and his staff cost his team the game yesterday. They had an opportunity to win that game, and they failed their team and failed the opportunity for the team. And, you know, stuff like that happens. It's a shame. And but overall, the effort was awesome. And we talked about it yesterday. You can check out some of our segments from yesterday. And as I told Dolphins fans, you know, you're going to have people that are, you know, driven by their own agendas. They're also driven by the agendas of their business, that they've got to create clickbait, and they've got to create, you know, some kind of interest in the offseason and 24-hour websites and 24-hour what's it called? Television networks now. Can't say radio, right? Because radio's barely on for a couple of hours a day. So yeah, they're going to have to fill space, right? And they do that by creating all kinds of stories that really have nothing to do with the real substance, behind all of this. So as I told Dolphin fans, you're in a good spot. You haven't been in this spot in a long, 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 long time. So hang in there. I know it's hard to tell you to have patience, but I think it's going to work out. It's just one of those things that right now, sometimes whether it's the Tua thing that some of you might be in doubt with or whatever it is, I think right now you're in a pretty good spot, and everything can be corrected, and you can move on and have a lot of success. I have not seen the Dolphins play the Bills 3 straight times like that this year, where I can walk away and say, they should have won all 3. That's, you're pretty good. So hang in there. I think this offseason will be an interesting one. They'll make moves. We'll start traveling at the end of this month here. In fact, I got my place yesterday. Last night I was deciding where to stay in Mobile, and I got myself a nice little Airbnb. So I am ready to go, because I try to get Airbnbs now wherever I go, not hotels. The hotel stuff is just it's lame, bro. It's just, you're going to give me just a room, and no, dude, I like a house. Plus, I need space so I can broadcast, and we got to do our shows from there every day. So we got a nice little place in Mobile. We're ready to go, and we'll be bringing you guys the kind of insight that you're not going to get anywhere in South Florida or any other platform that covers South Florida sports. So we'll be there. Like we last year, we're at the Vegas Summer League. Who knows? We might go to the Vegas Summer League again this year. I know this. Sean loved the heat in the Vegas Summer League. I mean, especially his favorite part was going to the arena and coming out of the right, Sean? Right? That was your favorite part, right? Getting out of the parking lot, walking to the arena and back. I say that because, dude, we were cooking. It's like 110 degrees, and we're walking to the arena and back, and oh my God, that is the worst part was, Sean, was the thing that was the underneath pass in between the arena. That thing got even hotter. It was like an oven that had trapped up all the heat. It's funny. But anyway, so we will be traveling. So we'll be at the Senior Bowl at the end of the month. Looking forward to that. I haven't been in Senior Bowl in a couple years, so I cannot wait to get back on the road and talk to people, and all kinds of good stuff there on the road. So, and then we got the Combine also. So we're going to do that as we get you ready for some draft action and get you some draft information. All right. JC says, why does it take multiple games, let alone season, to learn clock management? The worst clock managed game all season was yesterday. It got worse as the season progressed. Doesn't give confidence. What can I tell you, JC? So your thing is what? What's your solution, JC? What's your solution? You want to fire McDaniel? Is that what it is? You want to start again? Get a new coach? So, again, look what they did against the Bills. Relax. You're right there. You just got to tweak some things. He's a smart guy. He should be able to figure it out. So everybody, when they start something new, they have to make adjustments. They have to learn. And I believe that man's smart enough to figure out what the hell he's got to do to correct everything. Leo says, I foresee the front office focusing on the trenches in the running game, drafting a blocking tight end, and boosting the running back room will make the offense that much deadlier. Defense will be better if healthy. Yeah. Let's see. Jayhawk says, Big O, Joe Rose has been killing the coach this morning with getting calls in on time. Well, I'm glad he's caught up to that. That's what we've been talking about for weeks. His in-game decisions are terrible. Whether it's getting the calls in on time, whether it's penalties, whether it's guys not lining up right, whether it's not playing Gesicki, whether it's not sticking to the run. There's a lot of shit that goes on in Mike McDaniel. I'm glad they're catching up over there. What else do we have? I'll check out Joe on Thursday or Friday when I'm in the car. Was he bragging about Justin Herbert is what I want to know. What was he gushing over Justin Herbert and the performance this weekend? That's really what I want to know, because by Thursday or Friday, I mean, I don't know. He might be tired of talking about how great Justin Herbert is. That's what I'd like to know. Was he doing that this morning? Because that would be funny. Muzi says, very proud of those men yesterday. They showed heart, which is something the Golden Boy didn't do on Saturday night. Yeah, no, the Golden Boy don't have that, bro. I'll tell you this. Skyler, man, should have run more yesterday. That's one thing that he needed to kind of take under his control. He had opportunities at times to run and extend drives, kind of like the Golden Boy, but the Golden Boy, So anyway, it is what it is. What else do we have? Big O, what's your gut telling you as far as coaching changes this offseason? I think they changed the special teams coach. That's it. I don't think they get – I'm pretty sure that Josh Boyer comes back. At least I would bring him back. Look, dude, unless you can get, and Vic Fangio's already interviewed for Denver. Apparently he's being set up. I think it's Sean Payton kind of behind the scenes working it. So Sean Payton's trying to come back, and I think that's going to be his defensive coordinator. So Fangio's out of the mix for the Dolphins. Unless you're going to get like a super proven vet like that, I'm sticking with Boyer, dude. I got no problems with Boyer. So probably just the special teams coach, Danny Crossman, is the changes that they make. So Cap for Life says, Joe Rose also said it's a mistake to pay Uno. Well, Cap for Life, I love you. I love all of you, but I'm not going to take any of your words for what Joe Rose is going to say, what you're saying Joe Rose is going to say, because I didn't hear it myself. So I'm not going to do that. Sorry. So sorry, but I'm not taking any of your words for it. Most of you mishear people. You don't understand what the host is saying because you do it to me all the damn time. So there's no way I'm taking your word telling me what somebody else said. That I'm not doing. I just would like to know if he was bragging about his boy, Justin Herbert. I mean, the choke artist. I'm just saying, because that was a big-ass choke job there. George says, Big O, I feel you with your optimism regarding the Dolphins. I have a question, though. Is your optimism similar to when we got the influx of young talent during the late 90s with JJ? Okay, I don't know if you were listening to the show. That's a long time ago. But I'll tell you what my problem was with JJ right from the get-go. Okay? I killed him right from the get-go. All right? While I loved everything that he did on defense, I hated and ripped apart everything he did on offense. So with JJ, I was torn. He took care of the cap issues because, unfortunately for Shula, the cap kicked in the last couple of years of his existence with us, and it was a new monster for him, and he didn't know how to handle it, and he was mishandling the cap. It was new to Shula. It was new to everybody. It was one of those things, it's like asking an old man now, okay, not this old man, because this old man's a little bit more of a modern old man, but asking the average old man, hey, what do you know about cryptocurrency and blockchains? And, you get a cold storage wallet and you are your own bank. And the old guy's looking at you like, huh? No, I have a bank. I put my money there. Yeah, you idiot. But they're killing you with fees and interest and all that. And you got to try to explain to people decentralized financing allows you to free yourself from banks, where you can become your own bank, because little do you know, you produce enough money to become your own bank, right? And these are things that people don't understand, right? And it's the same thing with Shula. At that moment, you bombarded a whole bunch of coaches in the league with this salary cap thing. And it was like, what? Managing the money, what? And this limits me here. What? And he mismanaged it. And Jimmy did two good things when he took over, because I'll be always objective with Jimmy about this. He drafted a hell of a defense, and he fixed the cap issues. Now, he was as good as he was in that, he was that bad on offense. So, George, I never had the same optimism with Jimmy about we're going to be special because, well, wait a minute, where's Kirby go? Where's Byers? You're trading Irving Fryer. What? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and 1-yard touchdowns. And like, yo, Jimmy, you can't run the Dallas offense. You don't have the Dallas line or the running back. And yet he was trying to do that. These are the same lines I used 30 years ago when he did this. Same exact. I killed him when he drafted Yatil Green. I absolutely fried his ass when he drafted Yatil Green. Right there in the draft show on QAM. Fried his ass. Because he came out with this stupid stuff. Well, you stretches and this, that. And I'm sitting there going, and I was covering UM too at that time. And back then, I used to be able to stand on the sidelines. You could stand as a media member the entire game on the sidelines back in the day at UM. They don't do that now. I don't know if they allow you now. They used to just allow you like towards the end. I think it was like something like 6 minutes down at the end of the field. Used to do that a few years back. I don't know if they still do that for the. They probably do, because that way you can get some sound coming off the field. But yeah, George, I didn't have the same enthusiasm for Jimmy that I have right now, because right now I'm seeing that you have the defensive pieces. You get them healthy, especially at secondary. That defense will completely change once you get that secondary, and then the offense is a fantastic offense. It's just him tweaking his in-game decisions is the only thing that he needs to do. But I love McDaniel's offensive mind, dude. His game planning, his schemes, I just think they're terrific. I really do. I think there's a lot to like here, and it's just tweaking. But I'm the first guy to tell you, he's game days, he's the worst game day coach I've seen, actually, on a Dolphins uniform. If not, he's maybe number 2 or something behind, I don't know, maybe Cam, maybe. But it's bad. He's got to fix that part. But everything else, there's so much potential everywhere else that he can fix this. This is very fixable. So listen, the Tua stuff will drive people crazy, right? And listen, his injury history always scared the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie to any of you out there. But as I'm looking at it, and as time has gone on here over the last couple of years, I have come to the conclusion that there are things that are also fixable here. And it's interesting because you're so trapped in the negativity of it all, and it clouds you so much. And then you have all the other forces, right? This guy writing this article and you read it. This idiot on radio saying something and you listen to it. This moron on television saying something stupid for shock value and it hits you. And these are body blows that you're taking, right? And no pun intended, by the way. And these are body blows that you're taking, and it's making it harder for you to have an opinion that you can stand strong on, right? But sometimes you've got to unclutter, right? The closet's cluttered up, the house is you got to unclutter it all. You got to clean it up so you have a cleaner walkway and more air to breathe, and there's less dust and all kinds of stuff, right? You want to open things up. Well, you want to get all this stuff out of the way because it's fixable. Because as people tell you about all the physical injuries, well, that had nothing to do with this year. And then when they tell you, well, but he's had concussions, this is going to be a problem. Well, he never really had problems with concussions before this. right? So what is the answer to it? Is there an answer to it? Of course there is. He avoided multiple concussions and all that throughout his entire career so far. This was the year where concussions became a thing for him. What does he have to do? He has to get rid of the football early. He has to make a quick decision. He didn't suffer broken ribs and pelvis injury and broken ankles and stuff. No. So what do you got to do? Get rid of the ball early. That has to be your message. Look at it all. You do that and you're going to actually not take a lot of hits. You're actually going to save your body. And the kid clearly can play at an incredibly high level. He's the number one rated quarterback. I'm not getting rid of the number one rated quarterback. That's so stupid. And every time I ask somebody, what are you going to bring in? Well, Brady and Rodgers, that's it. That's all you can bring up and say, and that's not happening. So there's nothing else you're going to do because there's no other quarterback better than him. Derek Carr's not better than him. None of the other guys that are available or going to be available are better than him. The only two guys are Hall of Famers named Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And the Dolphins' luck, this is when Tom Brady gets completely old. Because I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to get old on whoever signs him now. I'm convinced that's what's going to happen. But whatever. So there's nobody really. This can be fixed. It's up to Tua, as I've been saying for a while now, but it can be fixed. Now, is it going to be fixed this week, next month, 2 months from now? No. But over the next couple of months, that's all you're going to hear. And you're going to hear people that are, that's all they want to do is put doubt in it because they've got to fill airtime. They've got to fill airtime on the radio. They've got to fill airtime on television. They've got to fill up space. So they're going to write about all of this stuff. And it's not going to get you anywhere. What's going to get us somewhere is once we roll around to next season and then we see Tua implement all the things that he's supposed to in his game so he can become more durable and stick around for you. Now, you have the people that are, remember that group of people that thought he couldn't play? Those are the people that are going to say, oh, no, he can't stay healthy. He's done. Those people have to do that. It's the only way they will get some kind of, oh, okay, see, I was right. Well, okay, so he can't play, but he's not durable enough. And that's where they find the solace in their fact that they were wrong. Like Joe Rose, by the way, since you guys were mentioning it. Okay? Who thought he couldn't play, and he was dead wrong. Right? So, then everybody on that show said he couldn't play. They were all wrong. So now they need to harp on the injuries, right? Because that's what I've heard when I get in the car. It's then harping on the injuries. And of course you have to harp on the injuries because you were already dead ass wrong about him as a player. Right? So there you go. So I'm sure that you're going to get Joe talking about the injury more than anything else. Why? Because he was already wrong about the kid as a player. I don't know which excuse he had, too short or noodle arm or whatever it was, but he was wrong. That's all I know. Just like a lot of people were wrong about him. So you got all that FUD, right? You got all those people that were wrong about Tua. So this is what it is. It's just some silly ass back and forth that you're going to have to deal with the entire offseason. So it's up to you how you want to handle it. And if you want to keep listening to that guy or this guy or whatever, you go ahead and torture yourself if you want. Mike C., thank you for the love on the super chat. 2008, Miami lost 27-9. 2016, Miami lost 30-12. Yesterday, Miami fought hard and almost pulled off a miracle. Proud of how they fought to the end. Dude, if it wasn't Mike C., if it wasn't for Mike McDaniel, they may have won that game. I mean, the coach cost him the game. How screwed up is that? I had some guy on Twitter. I can't believe McDaniel had Skyler throw 51 passes. This, that. And I'm like, dude, relax. They lost by 3 points. What the hell are you talking about? McDaniel may have screwed his quarterback with the 4th and 1, with the 3rd down earlier in the game that he forced him to throw that interception on a stupid call. But they lost by 3. They it's not the 51 passes. It was a couple of decisions that Mike McDaniel made in that game that screwed that team. The mismanagement of the clock, not having timeouts, that's what screwed this team. Had nothing to do with 51 passes. Sometimes some of you out there, you have no freaking clue what you're watching. Like that guy on Twitter. He doesn't know shit about football. He's complaining about the 51 passes. You jackass. They lost by 3 in Buffalo. An injury-depleted team with a 7th rounder, and you're complaining about the 51 passes? No, dumbass. Complain about the 4th and 6. Complain about the 3rd and what was it? Oh, it was 19 because I remember it was Skyler's number. The 3rd and 19 where he throws the interception. Those are the things that you complain about, dude. The 51 passes. There's some of you out there that I don't know. Do you ever learn anything by watching the game? Do you know what the hell you're talking about? And when you don't, you're better off just listening. You're better off than opening your mouth, because then when you open your mouth, we all know, wow, this guy's a dumbass. That's what it kind of hurts. It's actually smarter to stay quiet. Worried about the 51 passes. I mean, that's some dumb shit. Dan B says, Big O, McDaniel needs to trust Tua more next year and let him change plays. And if they do have a 4th and short, let him get to the line and call the play. He's smart enough to get it done. That's not going to happen. But as I said yesterday, Tua may need to take control, that if things are delaying, then get it going. Son of Liberty, Chargers bad play calling, Bills bad play calling, lost by 3 and got a concussion after having a perfect first half. Yeah, I mean, it's just bad play calling, hurt this team. Well, not bad play calls, but some bad decisions, I would say, because sometimes they're not all play calls. Sometimes it's you didn't run the ball enough, running the ball. Sometimes it's, well, there's Mike Gesicki on the sidelines. Why is he on the sidelines? He's a weapon. There's a lot of different decisions, listen, challenges. That man didn't win a challenge till week 18 of the regular season. That's the kind of shit that can't happen, man. It's unacceptable. You and your staff have to know where you're at. The time, the down and distance, the situation, the penalty. You got to have somebody that is watching every single play with an eagle eye to make sure, like against the Jets, when that tight end, clearly it was not a catch and you didn't challenge it. And that's because you're not ready. You're not prepared. And all of that has to change going into next season. If not, we in other words, we cannot be having this same conversation. I can deal with everything else because it looks like it's going in the right direction. I've never seen the Dolphins play the Bills 3 times like this. They easily could have won all 3. And yesterday, the coach stopped you from possibly winning that game. A couple more yards, you're already in field goal range. You're tying it. No worse than tying the game. And the way that game was going, you never know. They could have scored. And they should have won 3 weeks ago. So I like the direction they're going in. They just got to figure it out. We got Ira coming up, and I've talked about this. I hope McDaniel has the mind of Spo, in the sense of Spo's ego didn't stop him from visiting other coaches from different sports and finding out the way they do things. And I think that's really important for Mike McDaniel to see if he can reach out to other people and grab a different perspective so he can learn how to grow as a coach. And Spo has done that himself personally, and that's why, he's headed to the Hall of Fame as a coach. And that's why arguably he could be the best coach that the Heat have ever had, even better than Riley, believe it or not, when you start to look at the numbers and everything that's going on, the production, and the different kinds of teams that he's winning with, all that kind of stuff. I know it's blasphemous to say stuff like that, but that's how good Spo has become, that you can have that conversation and have some fun, Godfather or Spo, that kind of stuff. But to Spo's credit, he not only learned from Riles, right, and took everything that Riles had to teach him, but he went off to also open his mind to learn from others. And I think Mike McDaniel kind of needs to have one of those types of paths in order to get better. So, but there's a lot of good stuff to build on, man. And that's why I would not, panic too much about what went on yesterday. Don't forget, folks, you can also make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. You can also make a Bitcoin donation like several made yesterday on the post-game show. Those are always my favorite donations. By the way, let me see where Bitcoin is. It is hovering just under 21,000 right now. 20,877, man. Holding strong. I love it. Big O, listening to you from Chi-Town. Need that Miami weather up here. Dude, it's like in the 60s right now. My thin bloodline self is freezing right now. All right, let's get to a little basketball. Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
I guess I'm on?
Yes, you are. You are on.
What happened to my intro?
What, you didn't hear it? We just did
I
it.
honestly didn't hear it. So just in case anyone else didn't hear it, Acura Pembroke Pines report every Monday and Friday with Ira Winderman from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel.
Ira, you're the only one that didn't hear it. It was there. We played the whole thing. Yes, it's a sponsor. We got to do it, bro.
All right. As long as we're covered. I'm trying to make sure things are good for business, especially Big O. You know this. Pat Riley even said this when he arrived and he realized it. That Heat season often doesn't start till Dolphins season is over. He realized that this town had a certain attention span limit and would focus on one thing. So honestly, when that game ended last night, I even texted Anthony Chang. I said, Heat season starts today. This is the focus now. And the Heat know that. The Heat are huge Dolphins fans. They were rooting for them. Udonis Haslem, a lifelong fan. Yeah. So these teams in town tend to root for each other more so than previously. They used to sort of bump heads. Now you can see on Twitter and social media, they're promoting each other. But now all of a sudden, I think there's going to be a lot more attention on the Heat than maybe they skated below the radar a little bit.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt there will be. But I was just talking about something because obviously Mike McDaniel needs to grow as a coach. And you've been covering the Heat for a long time, and you've watched Eric Spoelstra, also grow as a coach. And, I kind of feel that Mike needs to kind of steal a page or two from Spo. Spo did something very unorthodox, as when he started and in the offseason, he would visit coaches even in other sports.
Correct.
To find out how they do things and watch their practice habits and those kind of things. And I thought it was very cool on Spo's part to be that open about it. And then you start to think about how he has evolved as a coach with that positionless stuff. He's kind of the guy that started that trend here, in the NBA with the big three and all that stuff. And, oh, no, LeBron. Yeah, no, we're going to put you in the Bosh, we're going to make you more of a 3-point shooter. We're going to do things a little different here. And so, to me, I think McDaniel has a lot of room to grow, You know what I'm saying? But he may have to open himself up a little bit more to kind of reach those plateaus.
Well, the perfect example, Big O, is pace and space. Spo said he picked up some of that from Chip Kelly when he was running that early in his college career before he went to the NFL and back to college. And he learned from other sports. And he spent a lot of time with Dabo Swinney also in another sport. Here's the difference. I think Mike McDaniel is trying to cast himself as the anti-coach, as the different guy, a different perspective. You've been in those press conferences. It's like no other press conference in the NFL. He's just a guy. So when does he move off of that and realize there are certain conventions that are important to coaches in all sports, and you have to have that? And I'll give you the exact example. You have to be drilled to a point where you are ready for anything. I once spoke to a coach. Matter of fact, I can even say it. I spoke to an NBA coach when Tim Floyd came in the NBA. Came from Iowa State, from Chicago. Never should have been in the NBA. And the coach I spoke to said he didn't realize how fast things work in the pros, how you have to make split-second decisions, 24-second shot clock, fewer timeouts. I think what we saw with Mike McDaniel with the timeout, with the play calls coming in late yesterday is you've got to be quicker on your feet. It all has to be innate. It wasn't. He's actually, you could see him. He's actually thinking about what to do instead of knowing what to do. Two things there. Experience. The more you go through it, the more you know it. But also getting yourself to a point where you realize you're a professional coach. You're in the number one seat now. You have to think quicker on your feet. I don't think the Dolphins showed that. I think you can see, say what you want about Belichick and what the Patriots didn't do this season, but the coaches who know what to do, it's instantaneous. Now, maybe with your third string quarterback, it's a little bit different, but that's where I think McDaniel has to go. He has to grow into more of a professional head coach. Eric Spoelstra grew into that, like you said, by learning from the best.
All right, let's the Heat, obviously a couple of solid wins for them against the Bucks over the weekend. No Giannis. I was hoping, why didn't he play on the second night?
Knee pain again. They are being very careful with him. They realize they have a greater goal. Unlike the Heat, they built enough of a cushion. They're going to get a top 4 playoff seed. They simply, if he shows up for work and says, you know what, this cold South Florida air, I wasn't prepared for it, my knee's locked up, you give him the day off. They're being careful. They have the cushion that the Heat don't.
Okay, so this leads me also to this. Gabe Vincent, your starter instead of Kyle Lowry? I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I'd rather give somebody the bulk of the minutes who's going to help me offensively, still distribute and help, in that area, help you a little bit defensively too. I just kind of like what I'm seeing here. The Kyle Lowry experiment. Can we put it on the bench? Can we have him run the second team?
Big O, there was a time when Kyle Lowry about 2 or 3 weeks ago was playing so poorly that someone very close to the Heat mentioned that. And he said, you know what? You know how you wake up Kyle Lowry's butt is you stick him on the bench, you give him that eye opener, and you make him realize this kid, undrafted, going to be a free agent, is playing better than you. But there's the other part of this, and this almost goes back to what you and I just spoke about Mike McDaniel. You have to manage personalities in pro sports. Kyle Lowry has started each of the last, I believe it's 600 games that he has played. He has been a starter in the NBA. If you put him on the bench, you might lose him. So here's what you have to think, Coach Orlando Alzagari. You're now the new Eric Spoelstra. Can you risk losing Kyle Lowry? Not even having him as a factor, just like you are right now with Dwayne Dedmon. Let's face it, Dwayne Dedmon might not play the rest of the season. If Orlando Robinson plays this well, if Omar Yurtseven comes back and plays well, you don't need him. But no offense, he's only Dwayne Dedmon. He's a journeyman center. Kyle Lowry is your $36 million starting point guard. Can you afford to lose him at this point? When Kyle Lowry is good, he makes passes that no other Heat point guard is capable of. But he has to be engaged. He has to be available. He has to give up. You can add whatever word you want in there. That's the difference. Somehow they've got to find a way to push Kyle Lowry's buttons. Maybe that's not Eric Spoelstra. Maybe that's Jimmy Butler who brought him here. Maybe that's his other veteran teammates. Kyle has to be better than he's been this season. I fully agree with you.
My point, but that's my point here is who the hell says you're going to get better? You haven't seen better. I mean, what are we supposed to keep waiting? You're a 36-year-old man. Either you show up or you don't show up, dude. Either you can get the job done or you can't. Gabe provides a hell of a lot more right now. And, one of the things that last year kind of sucked, right, was the young guys were in a groove. And then all of a sudden, when everybody got healthy, we kind of discarded the young guys and put them to the side, and they didn't get the same amount of playing time, and then they lost their groove. Well, this kid now is in a groove. He can't keep this groove if you give him limited minutes off the bench.
You're right.
He's giving you way more production than Kyle Lowry's, 4 or 5 excellent passes that he can give. I'd rather get 15, 20, 25 points from Gabe Vincent. I'd rather get his 3-point shooting and I know he's not going to give me 10, 12 assists. That's not who he is, but might give me 6, might pick up a steal or 2. So I'll take that along with a whole bunch of points and not a lot of turnovers. I'd rather have that kind of an upside, and I'd rather try to look to my future than actually a past that was never part of your present.
So you know what I would do? I would tell Kyle Lowry this: stop pacing yourself. We understand at 36, you've learned over the years how to pace yourselves toward the playoffs. We don't need that anymore for this reason. We don't have to get 36 minutes out of you a game. We have Gabe Vincent over here. We have Victor Oladipo over here. We have players who can play the other minutes you can't. So instead of giving me 36 paced, that's, air quotes here for those who are listening on the podcast, minutes, go balls to the wall. Go all out for 20, for 22, for 24. Show me in 20 or 22 or 26 minutes you can be the old Kyle Lowry. I'll fill in those other 22 minutes. I have Gabe Vincent. I have Victor Oladipo. I have Max Strus. I have Tyler Hero when he's coming back today in Atlanta. I have those guys. That's what I would tell Kyle. I understand at 36 you believe it's your mandate to pace yourself. I'm saying that's over. For the exact reasons Orlando Alzagari said, we have Gabe Vincent. We have Victor Oladipo. We have others now you didn't have confidence in at the start of the season or last season who now can fill in those minutes. You know what? When you have depth, I want every player coming off that court dog-tired. I want players raising their hand, get me out of there. Eric Spoelstra uses this term all the time, and I think it's the perfect term for Kyle Lowry. Empty your tank. When you play as hard as you can, and then someone else will come in and help you. Kyle clearly has been pacing himself. I hope it's not for his next contract, because I think at 38, there's not going to be another next contract like this. You're making 36 this year, about 38 next year. Hey, at 38 years old, that might be the end of the line, finish on top. I would try to get someone to motivate him that way. I don't know if that's motivatable.
Well, he's kind of preparing for that last year of the contract, living in Minnesota or Sacramento or somewhere like that for that final year as the Heat move him for some kind of a body that's out there.
And that's what someone told me. And that's what someone told me, that if this continues, the exact quote I had was Pat Riley will ship his ass to Sacramento. That's the exact quote someone told me that they will do, because you know what? They gave Jimmy Kyle because he wanted him. They giving Kyle a 2-year run, really had a chance to compete far more than Toronto, which has fallen off the face of the earth again. But what are you going to do for me? So again, right. I've never felt that Kyle Lowry was a Heat culture player. I've always felt that Kyle Lowry picked up his own culture over the years. And every time we've offered him one of those Spoisms, he's gone, yeah, but the way I did it in Toronto, the way I did it here, the way I've been doing it. And I understand that. Some players come in and buy in. Look, Big O, you know what it is? It's a cult. Not a cult in a bad way, but it's a cult. And if you don't buy into the cult, and I haven't for years, and I butted heads with the Heat because of it, but if you're a player and you're part of it, you have to buy into the cult. I don't think that buy-in has been full. It has been with Jimmy Butler. It's been with Bam. It's been with Tyler. They've said, this is the Heat way. I understand it. Kyle's just a little different sort of cat.
Old dog can't learn new tricks. So
possibly, yeah.
That's why Lowry and Dedmon are finding themselves on the outside looking in. There's a Heat way or the highway. It's just kind of the way it is. Oladipo, it's paying off, man. It's really paying off. I know you wrote about it also in the Sun Sentinel, but it's a game in, game out. It's really nice to see the body holding up, and then it's really nice to see that the performances are also stacking up.
I spoke to someone in management in the front office who works for Pat Riley, And he said, the reason I like working here is this. Pat gives you a defined goal. We want you to do this. And if you do this, we will reward you. And the person I spoke to said, every day when I go to work, I know what they want. I know what they want me to achieve. And I know if I have achieved that, there will be a payoff. That's what they did with Victor Oladipo. We know you're a former All-Star. We know you're former All-NBA. But we want you to be a sixth man, which is why with all these injuries, with Tyler, with Kyle, with Jimmy, so many players out, Duncan Robinson, all but one game, Victor Oladipo has played as a sixth man. Because as I wrote today in the Sun Sentinel, it'll be in your doorstep in the paper tomorrow, Eric Spoelstra said in camp, this is the role we envision for you. We want you to excel at it. And he said, there's not many former All-NBA players who are willing to do that when they're only 30 years old. So far, so good. I think it's going to work out fine the rest of the season. He's been terrific in that role. He's been the energizer to a degree that Tyler Hero was last season when he was sixth man of the year. No longer are you and I debating every Monday and Friday on our Accurate Pembroke Pines report whether Tyler should go back to sixth man. We now have a sixth man, so it's been that much easier. My question is, after this season, when he can be a free agent, I mentioned this in my story, is Victor Oladipo was sold, but you know what? You do this incrementally. Victor, get us to the end of this season as the best damn sixth man you can be. We'll deal with the future in the future. So far, it's worked out perfectly.
Yep. Yeah, all right, so give us the latest on all the injuries.
Tyler Hero is off the injury report, which is very rare for a player who is out 3 games not to be listed as questionable or probable or doubtful. So he's back. They wanted to manage that Achilles. They wanted to manage it against the matchups. That's important to the Heat. It'll give other guys rest. I think Caleb Martin comes back today also. God bless Haywood Highsmith. He goes back to his when needed type of role. He's there. The Kyle Lowry knee soreness. Matter of fact, I think it's being listed now as knee discomfort. I find that odd for the Miami Heat culture. Pat Riley always says you can be injured and you can be hurt. When you're injured, you don't play. We understand it. When you're hurt, you do every last breath you can to get on the court. It's very interesting. I think the Heat are giving Kyle Lowry a midseason break right now. We're right about the middle of the schedule. They're doing well enough. I think their thought is when you come back as your best self, but not before that. Again, I think he's getting treated differently than other players on the team. He is listed as.
I mean, it's this franchise has changed.
Yes,
it has. They have softened up, man.
Oh, they absolutely have. You get golf clubs on the team playing right now. I mean, you get things you've never seen before. But you know what? I think Eric Spoelstra has learned. You can't be Pat Riley anymore. The players are not buying that anymore. Not just in Miami. You know what happens when the Golden State Warriors travel, Big O? Steph Curry checks into a private house or his own hotel. He doesn't want to deal with the fan crush. Think about that. That's how this league has changed. It used to be maybe Michael Jordan could do that. Now other players do that. We've seen Jimmy Butler do that. It's different times. If you want to be hard-ass coach, you can't be Bill Parcells anymore in the NFL. I don't think you can be Pat Riley anymore in the NBA. The players rule the league. So Kyle Lowry, I think, is being given a sort of vacation right now to try to win him back. Big O, old guys like you and me.
Dude's been on vacation since he got here, bro.
But the Heat are still trying to find a way to get through to him, to get him to be his best self. I can see you shaking your head right there. You can see me shaking my head.
I can't wait till they unload his ass. Really, seriously. It's just, I hated this contract from the get-go, and it's been nothing but a freaking disaster. You got a young kid in Vincent that is playing his ass off, and he did it last year, and then he got discarded with him and Caleb and all that, and they got out of there, and now he's back in a role, and he's playing well. You know, it's just like, it's like watching Kader Kahu play so well, and then all of a sudden you go sign some vet and just throw the kid to the bench. No, man, this is your future. This kid's playing well. Keep him out there. He's better for your team. I don't see, when I look at the pros and cons, the cons outweigh the pros so much with Kyle Lowry that there's nothing about him that makes it, you know, like worth this. Yeah.
There is something, and it's called the salary cap. And in a salary cap league, when you've invested roughly a quarter of your salary cap in one player, you've got to try to make it work, especially when you have another year left on his contract, either as a player or as a trade chip to build value. You have to work on that also. Everyone's mentioning now.
Yeah, it would be harder to move if you start making it even uglier. I get it.
And even everyone's mentioning right now, oh, take D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract from Minnesota. You're off Lowry's deal next year. Well, Minnesota has to be motivated in their desperation with Rudy Gobert to make the playoffs this year that Kyle Lowry is actually something that can provide a net gain. That's where you get into trouble there. You have to try to build value up. You build value up this way by letting him get fully healthy, come out and have a nice 4, 5, 6, 8 game run before that February 9th NBA trading deadline.
Makes sense. When you're right, you're right. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel, my man, so folks can check you out?
Well, we mentioned the Victor Oladipo story. He's playing his six-man role perfectly. I wrote in my Ask Ira today at sunsentinel.com. Haywood Highsmith has done so well with Caleb Martin out. Could you craft a role for him that he actually gets in the rotation? I think the only way they do that is not to go big off the bench. Don't play Dwayne Dedmon. Don't play Orlando Robinson. That depends on opponents. Tonight, Clint Capella looks like he'll be back for the Hawks. You might need another big body. Does Dwayne Dedmon get one more chance? I think that'll be interesting. Heat Hawks, 3:30 p.m. today, TNT only. So we'll have live game coverage in the Sun Sentinel tomorrow at your doorstep as well.
Panthers at 1, Heat at 3:30. This is just, oh, man, it's crazy stuff. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work there at the Sun Sentinel. Better yet, do what I do. Subscribe, man, and support Ira and all the exceptional writers there at the Sun Sentinel. Ira, thank you. We will catch up on Wednesday with
Wednesday, 9 a.m., redrecover.com Inside the Paint Show with Kurt Heelan. And hopefully we'll still be talking about the surging and streaking Miami Heat. Thanks, Big O.
Let's hope so. We need it. All right, Ira, be good. Heat right now are, 4 games above 500, so they're on a little roll. I was hoping that it would be a Giannis night on the back-to-back, but unfortunately. But, hey, they got the win. That's all that matters. That is your Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA reports.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. So I was checking out this morning. By the way, anybody that's watching right now, anybody in the Clearwater area, out of curiosity, anybody been to a place called the OCC Roadhouse? I've never been there, but Saturday, March 11th. Oh, baby. I need everybody to get your hands up. I said, reach for the sky. Everybody get your hands up. Let me see you holding them high. You know what I'm talking about? And I need everybody to reach for the sky. And get your hands up. A little THC. No, not that kind of THC. But it is a play on words. Texas Hippie Coalition is coming to town. They rarely come to South Florida. They rarely come to Florida. Okay? Usually they're in that Midwest area. They're a Texas band. They do a lot of Texas, a lot of Oklahoma, that. I saw them at the Culture Room years ago, open up for Fozzy, and they were awesome. I mean, I fell in love with the band right there and then. The lead singer is one hell of a character. So I saw this morning that they're coming to Clearwater, someplace called Roadhouse. So I need a spy report. Send it to me on my DM on Twitter at Big O Show or my email, bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. But I'm definitely going to go there. Knight says, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says, I work 5 minutes from it. It's a part of the Harley. Oh, so it's a Harley Davidson dealership, and next to it, it's called the Roadhouse. Well, that makes all the sense in the world because the lead singer looks like a big-ass, badass biker. Okay? So that makes a lot of sense. I met him over at Rockville because they were in Rockville. I love Texas Hippie Coalition, man. I am a huge fan. So I already told the wife, hey, it's a Saturday. Be available because we are going to Clearwater on Saturday. We're going to drive up for the show and have some fun, man. Brian Landis says, LOL, never heard of. Well, just look up for Texas Hippie Coalition and look for Hands Up. Okay? I would play it for you here, but then we'd get tagged by YouTube. They are awesome. They've got this groove, and the lead singer is a trip, an absolute trip. Love it, bro. Cannot wait to go March 11th to Clearwater. So any of you that live in Clearwater, I'll be in town March 11th to go see the Texas Hippie Coalition at Roadhouse. On a sad note, thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace. BTO drummer Robbie Bachman passed away at the age of 69, I saw today, unfortunately. Ah, man. Leon Fresco says, Carson Wentz for Tua's 2023 backup. McD No. Nobody can fix that guy anymore. He's done. He's done here, Leon. I would get an Andy Dalton or a Joe Flacco or something like that, a Gardner Minshew instead. I would rather. Gardner Minshew might be the guy I like out of the three. You know that? That's the guy that I would like to get. Knight says, and thank you again for the super chat, Knight. He says, yes, they also do underground wrestling food, okay. Just underground wrestling and food, or is there something called underground wrestling food? I don't know, Sean. You got to help me on that. Did I misunderstand that? Or he just, well, it looks like there's a dot there.
I think he's saying it also has wrestling there and food is okay.
Oh, the food is okay. Okay. Well, I'm not really going for the food. I'm really going to rock out. You know. So, well, I'm in Clearwater, right? Huh. You know what I'm going to do that day? That day, I'm going to take the wife to Burns Steakhouse in the afternoon, right? Go there about 3:30. No, actually, I think it might open like at 5, right? Or 4:30 or something. So right when it opens, have a nice little dinner, then drive over to Clearwater and see the concert, because I'm sure they're not going to start till like 9. So I'll have time to have a good meal at Burns, then go to then go see Texas Hippie Coalition at the Roadhouse. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Let me see if we have anything else here on the chat board. Oh, did you scan the Rick Rubin 60 Minutes piece last night? Oh, I did not. I'll check it out. I did not even know that Rick Rubin was on 60 Minutes. I'll check it out. That must have been interesting. Magic City Enterprise, great job of covering the Fins all year. Big O. We're not done, Magic City. We'll be in the Senior Bowl at the end in 2 weeks. We'll be there when Chris Greer talks to the media. We'll have all that reaction for you and any of the insight. And then we'll be covering the Combine. So it doesn't stop. Dolphin coverage doesn't stop ever, baby. And what else do we have here? Jimmy G got a backup, only another Glass Joe. Yes. No, and Jimmy G misses triple the games that Tua misses. Ross will make another run at Brady. Nope, not happening. But listen, you guys can do it whatever you want. Burns opens at 5. Okay, perfect. So I'll be there right at 5 o'clock for my meal with the wife. We'll be out by 6:30. How far is Clearwater from there? It's not that far. We're there. Not a big deal. So it's all good in the hood, as they say. Big O, we don't say go get another backup. Are you content with Skyler for those games that he won't need to play because Tua is going to ball out next year and healthy to shut everyone F up? Can't wait. I'm with you, Joel. I'm with you. But you still got to go get yourself a good back. I'd love to get Gardner Minshew. That's the guy I would like to get to back up Tua and then keep Skyler as the 3. Skyler did enough yesterday. I needed him to do something. wasn't perfect, obviously. He was far from it. He made some mistakes. But some of the mistakes, I can't blame it on him. I kind of blame it on his coach. It's really what I do. I can't blame it on the kid. So, Big O, my plan before the Jets game was to fire everybody and miss the playoffs, but now my plan is to bring everyone back. LOL. Knight says 30-minute drive from Burns to OCC. That's what I mean. Thank you, Knight, dude. Appreciate you doing the work, but I didn't think it was that far anyways. So I'm glad I haven't been to Burns in a while. I need to go eat a Chateaubriand. I haven't had a Chateaubriand in a while, and that is my favorite steak in the entire world. That's my favorite cut of the cow, and I gotta have the escargot. The escargot at Burns is off the chain, and then the wife and I will go over and watch a terrific show because the Texas Hippie Coalition is so freaking awesome, dude. Awesome. Love it. So just one of those deals that if you want to check out a band that could be interesting for you. By the way, if you don't like hard rock, then you're not going to like them. Okay, it's not your type of. It's not your type of band or something like that, okay? But if you like hard rock and it's got like a groove to it, and if you can watch them live, the front man is one of the most entertaining front men there is out there. He is funny as a mother, okay? Go watch Turn It Up. Go watch Monster and Me. Like I said, Hands Up is just a great song. They got a bunch, man. Angel Fall, just stuff. Go check it out. Just go check out Texas Hippie Coalition. As long as you like hard rock, you'll be all right. Big O, how did that fourth down drop from Gesicki on the final play? Oh, that was tipped. That was tipped. You could tell it was tipped, and it must have changed the trajectory of it, and so I felt bad for Gesicki. I feel bad for Gesicki. I mean, for Gesicki. That guy deserves so much better. He should have played a lot more. He would have helped his team out. You don't keep weapons on the sidelines. You don't players that make you better. That made no sense on Mike McDaniel's part. That he mishandled that so much. That it's sad how badly he mishandled it. Eric Echevarria, thank you for the super chat. Any idea on who would be the new special teams coach if Rizzi's off the board? Also, your thoughts on the FSU QB Travis, a second or third round development QB. He's coming back. He's not. Did he declare for the draft? Isn't he coming back? He's a Heisman Trophy candidate for next year. So I haven't seen anything. Did you see anything there, Sean, that he declared for the draft? Am I missing something here? Because I don't think I saw Jordan Travis declare for the draft. I was pretty sure he was coming back. He needs to come back. So we'll see, but I don't think it has any. That's for the following season, I believe, from what I know. Son of Liberty says Tua all or nothing in 2023. Skyler QB2, bring in bigger backs to push for those short yardage. Let's go. Earl Campbell says, Big O, a day after the loss, I feel good about the Dolphins. You should, man. You should feel good about the Dolphins. Don't let other people, create all kinds of doubt. There's no reason to think that. 20,991. Back hitting about to hit 21,000. Yes, sir, Sean. What do you got?
He is remaining at FSU.
Okay.
Not entering the 2023 draft.
Yeah. So he's not an option this year. I do like him. I'm really impressed with him because Jordan has grown every year as a passer. He's gotten better and better and better. And let me tell you, he is all by himself. He's worth the watch. He puts on a show. And he'll get himself in trouble sometimes. He's made some mistakes. He's made some bad throws. But I love the kid's effort and the kid's heart. He plays balls out all the time. The Drew goes, I don't think anybody in the room knows who BTO is. Well, what can I tell you? That's when, if they want to, maybe look it up a little bit about Bachman Turner Overdrive, and maybe they'll learn a little something. If you're a music aficionado, you should go, delve into a little BTO. Nothing wrong with that. Just take care of your business. That's all I got to say. That's what you got to do. You got to take care of your business. You do that, you'll be all right in life. Whew. By the way, anybody, I'm just wondering, because it's not like it's not a after the fact stuff, but I wonder how many of you got into Alethea that I mentioned, and Alethea Liquid Token, which has exploded, dude. Exploded. In the last week, it's up 157%. In the last month, it's up 275%. So I don't know if how many of you ended up getting into Alethea Artificial Liquid Token. It's an AI company. That thing is flying, brother. Flying. It's amazing. It's making some of us very happy. Big O, if you were to do an interview with McDaniel, what would you ask about Gesicki? No, I would not. I would ask him about his game management and why a run-based offense does not commit to the run when it's working. The Gesicki stuff, it's just a pissing contest at that point, because it's all about him not being able to block. So he wants to sell to the defenses that you don't know what this player is going to do, if he's going to block or he's going to pass catch. With Gesicki, he's not going to block, so he's going to pass catch the entire time. So you're already kind of selling to the defense what you're going to do, and he doesn't want that. So I already know what his philosophy is. I'm just going to then argue with him. Well, then you did a piss poor job as a coach to leave him why re-sign him? See, that's the part that I don't understand about it. Why tag him? Just let him sign somewhere else, and you would have gotten your compensatory pick. You would have gotten your 3rd round pick this year coming up in the draft instead of next year, because now you got to wait till he signs to then get, compensated the year after. You would have been getting the 3rd rounder this year, which is what you need desperately, because you're not going to get a 2nd rounder. The highest you can get is a 3rd. So that's what Gesicki will bring back to you. Drafted in the 2nd, you'll get a 3rd. But if you're not going to use him, because the idea was, if you're the Dolphins and you're bringing him back, McDaniel's job is to use him, make him look incredibly good, and then trade him for a 2nd rounder where you drafted him. But McDaniel screwed it up and didn't play him enough. And so anybody that knows him knows that he's going to be an exceptional player on any team that needs a pass catching tight end. They're going to get a stud. But you're now giving away a stud. So somebody's going to get Gesicki, and they're going to win big time, man. Good player, man. Good player, pros pro, carries himself perfectly. What a shame, dude. What an absolute shame. Oh, just found BTO in my Rolodex. There you go. I like it. You ain't seen nothing yet. But baby, you ain't seen none yet. Here's some that you never forget. John Yang says, Big O, check out my KY boy running back, Chris Rodriguez Jr., led the SEC in rushing. He will be at the Senior Bowl, hopefully, when the Dolphins are on the clock. Well, he's not a first rounder because most running backs aren't first rounders because they don't really draft running backs in the first round, and they do have second and third round picks. So I'm sure your boy and many others will be available because running backs, as you know, they don't have a lot of value like they used to. Larry is asking me, Big O, are you a Harley rider? No, I don't ride any motorcycles, my man. I don't have one, don't ride one. No. No. But they are super cool. I will say that. I do like them. Okay? Really enjoy them. In fact, I don't know if it could happen because there was some talk about going up to Bike Week in Daytona, but I know they've had so many natural disasters up there, and I don't know how it's going to go. But the guys up in Tortugas, we were kind of talking. We're going to go to one of their bars that's right on, where all the action goes, and that's one of the things that I want to go. Sean and myself go to some of these bike weeks and things like that around the country and broadcast from there, do our shows from there, have some fun, and I love it, man. I think it's super cool. But personally, no, I don't have one. No, sir. Travis says we will never get an alpha coach because Greer would lose control of the team draft. They want a soft yes man. Okay. All right. A soft yes man. Emma Daniel, get a pass this year. He's a rookie also. I don't know what that means. McDaniel, the game day coach, betrayed McDaniel, the X's and O's strategist. Basically. Big O, is Boyer out, and also is Tua and a couple of picks good for Lamar? Fins, I would tell you no, and stop doing drugs because you're really freaking stupid. Like any moron that would want Lamar Jackson. A guy that can't pass. Oh, did you see this story, by the way? This is fantastic. Michael Vick went out of his way to pick on Lamar Jackson. I love this one. This is hilarious. Okay. I find this one to be really freaking funny. Okay. Out of all people, Michael Vick is going to call out Lamar Jackson. Okay. So let's go over this. All right. So Lamar Jackson sitting out in the playoff game, right? Due to the PCL sprain. Vic, by the way, had no sympathy. He says, it's the playoffs. You're 3 games away. Put a brace on it. Get it going. He said that on Fox's NFL Kickoff. He says, I played a whole season with a torn ACL. MCL. Okay. Now, let me show you something here. Completion percentages for Michael Vick, 44%, 54%, 50%, 56, 55, 52, 46. Andy Reid in 2010 got him to a whole 62.6%. After that, back to 59, 58, 54, 52, 60. This is a guy with a career completion percentage of 56.2. Elite quarterbacks are above 65. Just so you'll know, this guy was a mediocre passer his entire career. He threw 133 touchdowns and 88 interceptions. He wasn't jack shit as a quarterback. And by the way, he needed his legs in order to run just like Lamar Jackson. And you playing with the brace, my brother, that's the worst thing that can happen, Michael. And I don't want Lamar Jackson also playing with a brace. Why? Because he's a mediocre passer from the pocket. I love these guys. They carry themselves and they think they're the shit just because they can run the ball. Meanwhile, they don't win anything significant. They run around all in the regular season, and in the playoffs, they pee in their pants. Because you got to beat people from the pocket. Who the hell are you, Michael Vick, to be calling out Lamar Jackson, who's accomplished more than you have, actually? He's actually played better in your style of football. He actually has a better completion percentage, and it's still not good enough, even with the limited passing tree that he has in his game. Let's go over Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. Let's compare to Michael Vick, right? Completion percentages of 56. He got 72 one year, 62, 68, 59, 53, 56, 71, 54, 72, 50, 75. It's pretty extremes. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. What am I reading here? Oh, wait. Hold on a second. They're broken up. No, I'm sorry. Those were per game. Here we go. 56, 58, 66, 64, 64, 62. So he's hovered just under the elite class because he's not elite, of course. 1 year he got to 66. He's got a 63.7 completion percentage for his career. And here is Michael Vick trying to pick on him with his little pathetic 56% completion percentage. Let's not get stupid here. And that's the problem here. That nobody, you bring Michael Vick on, but you don't challenge him. You let him just spew crap. And it's like, guys, we know who you are. And I get it. Some of you out there, you still think that these guys are real quarterbacks or whatever. They're running backs trying to play quarterback position. That's what they are. Lamar's been more successful than this guy. But Jalen Hurts, go look at that kid. That's the guy that's actually making the strides as a running quarterback to become a real passer. But for Michael Vick to think that he has the balls to call out Lamar Jackson, that is funny. It's hilarious. By the way, Jalen Hurts this year, 66.5%. He went from 52 his first year to 61.3 to 66.5. Just watch the kid. You can see it that he's getting better. You watch Michael Vick, he was the same jag he was always. Just a fantastic runner. But as a quarterback, you were hoping that day he had some accuracy and he can hit a couple passes. I remember one game he came here and was perfect practically. He was hitting everything. But that's not normal. That's just an athlete being an athlete that day. And by the way, that's what Lamar Jackson is also, another athlete. I'm watching yesterday. I know, God bless the Ravens, dude. They hung in there yesterday with that archaic and terrible offense of theirs. Whoever's running it, I don't really care who it is, Lamar or this kid Huntley. Doesn't matter to me. It's just a lame-ass offense. But they hang in there because they can play defense and they can run the ball. And they just dirty it up and they stay in games. Let me tell you something. The day the Ravens can find like a true passer, my God, they'll be Super Bowl contenders every year and they'll make deep runs. With the kind of team they have, the toughness that they have, they are mentally an incredibly tough team. Super impressive. EJD Construction, by the way. Great work, as always. Proud sponsors of the program, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. They do it all in Dade and Broward counties. And listen, they're fully insured, liability and workers' comp, and they do it all, folks. If you're looking for somebody right now, you need some custom home construction. You need to modernize that kitchen. You need to build an entire barbecue kitchen out in the back. You want to, add another room to the house. You know what I'm saying? You want some real construction, not a handyman. You call the great people at ejdconstruction.com. And a lot of people need to upgrade their roofs because they're trying to renew their insurance policy. And now a lot of companies now are telling Florida homes and Florida homeowners, that is, you've got to update your roof and you got to bring it up to code. Or if not, we can't give you a new insurance policy. Well, guess who can bring it up to code? ejdconstruction.com. Call Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843. Go to Instagram. You'll see a lot of their work, before and after stuff that you can see. the quality of work that they do at ejdconstruction.com. All right, all right, all right. What else do we have? Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff on Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin donation also through there, too, at Cash App or Venmo. Big O, is Josh Jacobs and Dalton Schultz a possibility? I don't think Jacobs is a possibility because that would be free agent money. I think they're going to draft somebody, if anything. Have I caught the collab between Lizzie and Daughtry? Talk about power vocals, amazing work. Lizzie Hale and Daughtry? I have not seen it, but I am going to go see Lizzie Hale over in where that strawberry thing is, Palm City, Lake City, whatever, over in the middle of the state. What's that called, man? It's Willie Nelson's going to be there. I'm not going for Willie Nelson, but I am going for Hailstorm. I'm going to go see Lizzie. Damn it, Plant City. It's called the Strawberry Festival, I think it's called. I'll be there for that. I'm going to go see Lizzie Hale. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. I love Lizzie. I hate that she doesn't come down here to South Florida ever. I always have to go north or to the west coast of Florida to go see Lizzie. Sucks, dude. Sean Campbell says, great day yesterday. Hanging out with Mark Higgs, Roy Foster, Terry Kirby, and Louis Oliver. Talk about some passionate fans. Came up short yesterday, but loved the fight in this team. Yeah, it was awesome yesterday. I was so impressed with the team. Really happy for them. I think they're headed in the right direction. And yes, Rosendo Willie Nelson is still alive. It shows you smoke weed and you'll live forever. You know, Indians have been hitting the peace pipe forever, and you know they have a long, they have a history of living long, right? They hit that peace pipe. I'm kidding, but whatever. Oh, yeah. I just saw a line there. A British man was among dozens killed in the Nepal plane crash. I saw that Nepal plane crash last night. Damn, scary stuff. Big O, what a fun season this year, says Anthony Campos. On to the next. 3 years you covering the Fins on this platform. Next year, road games, Jets, Chiefs, Chargers. We'll have a home game at my house and watch party. There you go. Sean's going to look forward to the season next year plus road games. He'll really love that one. I know he'll be pumped to go to road games, right, Sean? You'll be pumped to go to those road games, right? Yeah, double thumbs up. There you go. Big O, I was at the game. If Waddle catches those deep balls, that's those perfect throws. Fins win. Have a great time. Paul in Connecticut. Skyler played with heart. The second one, I don't blame him. There was a bad pass by Skyler. He underthrew it and allowed the DB to get the arm in there. The first one was all on Waddle. And listen, Jalen Waddle has to correct some issues. He has concentration issues. And it's happened to him throughout the year. He has brain fart moments. He lost the game all by himself this year. All by himself. He committed 2 errors that led to 2 scores, and he lost that game literally by himself. And in most games, not all, but in most games, he has a tendency of losing concentration. He did what he did yesterday. A couple times he's done this where he jumps for no reason at all, misjudges the ball, when all he has to do is wait for it and catch it. And he's done it where he's actually jumped for no reason and ends up dropping the ball. So those brain farts have to end with him. Not end because nobody catches every single pass. I don't expect you to be Jerry Rice, but you got to catch more of those. You have to cut down on the drops. Okay, you're a human being. You've got to drop some passes. It happens. But I don't know what Jalen Waddle, whether he has to hit the jugs machine an extra 100 times every day, whatever it is. Maybe practice different routes and depth perception and those kind of things, because it's a couple times where you have misjudged the ball for no reason at all, and you've made it harder for you to actually make the catch. And then that's why you end up dropping it. So for me, everybody has to work on something, right? I got to work on something to make the show better. Sean's got to work on something to make the show better. You got to work on something to make your job better. All of us have got to work on something. None of us are perfect. Although really Sean is perfect, but I had to I got to make Sean look like the common man like the rest of us, because he's uncomfortable when we put him at that pedestal that he belongs. So we make him look like he has some kind of faults like us. But most of us, outside of Sean, really have got to fix things, right, to get better. Same thing. Jalen Waddle has got to work on his brain farts. He has too many. The Dolphins were one of the teams that had some of the most drops in the season. This is a reason why you also lose. It's not because you didn't know how to line up. It's not because Mike McDaniel doesn't know when to keep running the ball, doesn't know how to use Mike Gesicki, doesn't know how to balance his, timeouts. There's so many things that contributed to the loss besides the injuries, besides a bad call by a referee by knocking or a spotter by knocking Teddy Bridgewater out, which that could have been a victory for the Dolphins because you thrust a 7th rounder into a position that he wasn't ready for. There's a lot of factors why you lost games and why you barely made the playoffs instead of comfortably making the playoffs. And Waddle has one of those issues that he must fix. He has to have better concentration, and he has to catch the ball in a more advantageous position and stop putting himself in a disadvantage when you don't need to do that. Because once you go up in the air, now you've got the uncertainty of how you're going to fall, and you're thinking about that besides just trying to catch the ball. If you're running and you're solidly on the ground, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable about catching and staying in stride and continuing. Meanwhile, you got to catch, you got to make sure you land, then collect yourself to keep running. It just makes it harder for you. So Jalen Waddle, please work on your concentration. The good thing is you don't got anything else to work on. You're a fantastic human being. You're obviously a stud. Got to tweak your game a little bit. Big deal. Everybody does. It's just the way it is. LeBron got here and Spo said, "Yeah, no, we're gonna improve your post game. You need to become more of a post. Oh, hey, you're Chris. Yeah, let's make you a 3-point shooter. Everybody's got to improve. You got to improve our offense by spreading it out a little bit more. Stretch 5 is what we'll call you, Chris. Everybody's got to improve their game. I don't care who the hell you are, except for Sean Stanley, really. But outside of everybody else, how many receptions did Waddle have? Didn't see much of him in the start of the game. Remember, he also got banged up with that elbow, and then he was able to come back. You've got to try the vape stick. 2 hits, high for 4 hours. Everybody heard? Where do you get the vape stick? See, further proof, you can't do that to people. You can't tell them, hey, you got to get this, and then you don't tell them where to get it. That's very selfish on your part. There's a lot of people out there that want the vape stick, where 2 hits, you're high for 4 hours. A friend of mine showed me a TikTok yesterday that it shows you don't see the smoke coming in or out, but it's a vape video. It's a video that they think that McDaniel is vaping right on the sidelines. Let me see if I can send it to you, Sean, and see if that's true, because it's kind of funky. Here we go. Let's see. Where we go? You need me to email it, right, Sean? Is that the best thing? I'm going to email it to you. Okay. But the problem, I told my buddy, is where is the exhale? Because I don't see any smoke coming out of it. You're using the wrong word, vape, Vic. Oh, okay. What is it? What are we talking about here? What did I do? Vapes don't get you high. It just gives you a buzz. Well, whatever. You guys aren't sharing stuff for everybody else, okay? That's all. There's a selfish sense coming from this whole thing. The rest of you are getting high, and then some other people there want to get high, and you're not, telling them where to get your vape product. That's all. So it's not cool. Just saying. I grow a White Widow hybrid in premium soil, and it's perfectly smooth to hit. The high is great. Big O's clearly just warming his hand with his breath. Yeah, that's yeah. Let's see. Hunt moved back to tackle, or any chance he's no, I think there's a chance that might be your right tackle. Unless they're convinced that Austin Jackson can be the guy. While we're at it, we should allow smoking in public places. I don't mind. In a public place, I don't mind. Not in a restaurant or bars or anything like that. It's too rude for other people, man, that aren't smokers. It's just not good for that. King Short says he's not vaping. I don't think so either. I think it's, how TikTok is. They can rig all these videos and they're all fake and all that. But hopefully he'll bring it up and it'll show you. And see if you play it first, Sean, yourself, and then look at the part that I'm saying that it shows, like, it looks like you can't see it, but you don't know if it kind of looks vapish. That's all I'm saying. 1 gram last a day. Sorry, bro. You got them baby lungs. My tolerance is way too high. Currently going through 8 G's of wax a week. You guys are a trip, man. It's the weirdest time to be a Dolphins fan, and I've been obsessed fan all my life for over 45 years. Big O, we should draft Stetson Bennett from Georgia to be a backup. Well, we'll see, man. We will talk about that as time goes on. We will have plenty of time to get into the draft. So hang in there. Don't worry about it. All right, let's do this. I have not broken for 90 minutes. Give me 2 minutes here to rest the voice a little bit right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed. They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
We're ready to rock and roll. Yes, sir. And we're already in hour number 2, of course, here on the program. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, proud sponsor of our program is Edge Energy Drink. If you want the finest energy drink on the planet, you go to Edge, myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O, and you will get 10% off. It is delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. And when I tell you delicious, I mean delicious. When I mean smooth, it is smooth. And when I tell you zero aftertaste, that's the part it's hard to believe, because all these energy drinks are full of aftertaste. This is why I don't like energy drinks. But this one is awesome. Zero aftertaste. And when I mix it with my Grey Goose as an elixir, amazing. So check it out. Delivered to your home, delivered to your office. Go to myedgedrink.com and use our code Big O. Get 10% off so you can try the best energy drink on the planet. I promise you. I promise you. Go check it out. All right. What else do we have here? Big O Chubb is definitely worth a late first. Don't think you find his talent in the draft that late. Well, yeah, but he's got to play better. That's the problem. It's been a disaster of a trade right now. And I'll give him a break for this year because it's a new team and scheme and all that good stuff. But next year, I don't want to be having this conversation. You know what I mean? I get it. You got to pay a first rounder to get a great pass rusher. A pass rusher is hard to find, but the dude's got to step up. That's his job. He's got to find a way to get it done. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, we got several games today. 1 o'clock, we got Panthers and Sabres. Panthers are favored by a goal and a half. The over and under 6.5. They're 20-20-4. Sabres are 21-18-2. So they're going to Buffalo now. And Panthers are minus 130 on the money line. The Sabres are plus 110. The Heat at 3:30 are on TNT. The 24-20 Heat favored by 1 point in Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Over and under 24.5. The Heat are plus 115 on the money line. The Hawks are minus 135. And then we got a game tonight. We got playoffs in the NFL. Genius on their part to make a Monday night game. The Cowboys and the Buccaneers. And the Cowgirls, by the way, are favored by 2.5. The over and under is 45.5. Cowboys are minus 140 on the money line, and the Bucks are plus 120. And I see Brady getting old. And yet I don't trust the Cowboys because I can never trust the Cowboys. It's like a weird game, dude. You're not supposed to be shocked if the Cowboys win because they've had a hell of a season, much better than the Bucks. But then you can't be shocked if Tom Brady comes through with a hell of a performance and they win and the Cowboys choke. It's just like it's one of those kind of games that you're like torn because both can be true. So where do you lean on this one? And I get it, you Cowboy homers, maybe you'll take your chance and you'll like the Cowboys, but the rest of us, I don't know what to trust. I don't know if the Dallas defense is going to catch up to the old Brady, because I'm talking about like Brady looking old. God, I think whoever signs him next year is so screwed. I don't. I fight for the first time. I really think that he's losing it. I've never thought of that of him. It's like, but this year when I watch it, it's just, damn, dude. Could it be mental? Maybe I get fooled by that. Could it be that the whole thing of the divorce throws you off? And that could be very possible. Because it happens. You all have friends and family members. And some of them that have had to go through a divorce, it has been devastating for their lives. And it's hard for them to recover. Some people are able to recover and move on, and they deal with the pain however they deal with it, but you don't necessarily see it out in public nearly as much, you know what I'm saying? But there are other people that wear their emotions on their sleeves and it just affects them. And maybe that's what I'm watching with Brady, that his mind isn't completely on the game because of everything that's happened with the divorce. And going to Vegas, baby. Get your mind off of it. Vegas. Mr. Spock says Brady's career, and tonight Dallas going to chase him all game. Sign Tunsil, and the left side is set. A. Jackson is a backup at best. Guy can't stay on the field and has shown not in 3 years bust. And why would you sign Tunsil? I didn't know is he a free agent, Mr. Spock? I mean, let's look up the contract of Laremy Tunsil. Okay, let's sign Laremy Tunsil. Okay, let's have some fun with this. Yes, exactly. Here we go. Laramie Tunsil. Because I'm pretty sure he's not even a free agent. Where is good old Laramie? Oh, did I not? How come I didn't spell it right, huh? Okay. Or is it this damn? Oh, that's why. Spell check, you bastards. Let's see. Laramie Tunsil has one more year on his contract, and he's a free agent in 2024. Which again, why wouldn't they re-sign him? But anyway, they do have a potential out if they want this year. I doubt they're going to do that, but if they do that, I still don't think that will be a priority. But he's under contract right now, so there's nothing to sign. So that would not make any sense whatsoever. Plus, they're already committed. I think they have to do other things, like a middle linebacker. They've got to find a running back. They've got to get a tight end, and they're going to have to either draft or sign something in free agency. But he's not a free agent. So, you throw that out there. That's the problem with some of you out there. You don't really know the rules, and you don't really know what's available. Plus, you don't understand the cap situation that Miami is in. They already committed to Teron Armstead. So there's no way that they could also commit to Laramie Tunsil. But, Dr. Spock or whatever your name is, Spock or whatever, you don't know the rules, and you don't really understand where the Dolphins are at. And that's why something like that makes zero sense, because you really can't do it. Juice F5, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, I'm not married yet. Excuse me if I'm being ignorant about the topic. Why is divorce so shattering? Not like someone died, just want some insight. Well, because you love that person, my brother. It's the person you live with. You share everything. They become like an extension of you. You're an extension of them. You become one. You've never been married, but I've been with my wife / girlfriend 36 years, dude. Right? Yeah, 36 years. It's a long time that I've been with someone. Right? And we're approaching now our 29th wedding anniversary in March. So that's 29 years of sharing everything and anything. And it's just like your mother or your father when you're sharing everything, living in their homes with them. And when you lose one of them, it's devastating for the rest of your life when you lose your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. Hell, my best friend, I lost my best friend in Bill Preston last year. It's effed up my life, dude. Like the guy that I hung out with all the time to go to a concert, travel, this, that, like doing everything. We were even working together. So like that changed my routine completely now. Like the guy that I talk to every day on the phone, I can't talk to my best friend anymore. Doesn't even have to be your wife. Doesn't have to be your dad. Doesn't have to be your mom. Doesn't have to be your brother or sister. It could be your best friend. So I'm not sure how you don't understand that, but it's like that was my best friend for nearly 40 years. Partying in high school, going through everything in life and growing up and ups and downs and everything. And we're both sharing them and, supporting each other and having some fun and going out to Los Angeles for a week or going to go see, U2 on the road here or Iron Maiden there or travel somewhere else. It's, for me, it's messed me up the last year. Be quite honest. So, yeah, divorce can be damaging for all parties involved, even for kids. My parents had an ugly divorce, and I was in the middle, and I was the tool that they were using against each other. That was not a lot of fun, and I lost my dad years ago, and It's just something I always tell people, you never recover from losing loved ones. What you do is you have to learn to adjust to it and deal with it is what happens. So losing somebody that you love at many levels alters your life. And, it's like all of a sudden the way you do things change, and it messes with you. So yeah, definitely. Because I can tell you just from losing my best friend, screwed up. Really is. It's screwed up. Messes with me all the damn time. Eric Echevarria on the super chat says, does it concern you that we went all out via trades and contracts and didn't get it done? What is this team's window? 1, maybe 2 with Cheetah and Waddle. What was your window the last 25 years, Eric? Did you have a window? Thanks for playing. It was all injuries this year, dude. If they're healthy, they can beat Buffalo all 3 times. I'm not worried about it. Again, don't listen to all the crap that's out there. This team is pretty damn good. They need some breaks next year. Hopefully they can stay pretty healthy like some teams do when they make a championship run. They usually have some breaks go their way, So you've had no window forever. You got a window now. You just got to hope that you get a little luck here with some injuries, that you stay away from them and you get a break or two, then a spotter doesn't take out a quarterback or something like that. I had a friend of mine, was it yesterday? No, it was Friday night. And he goes, oh, dude, but you still want to go with Tua. Well, what about all these concussions? And I go, bro, it was just 1 year. He had a couple concussions. That's it. It wasn't his whole career. Relax. He's been pretty much concussion free. That was this year that there was bad luck. Oh, he's going to get hit. This, that. Well, dude, he's been getting tackled and hit all over for years, and it wasn't resulting in concussions. This happens to be terrible luck. He's got to learn how to protect himself better, just like everybody else has before him. It's not a big deal. Chill out. This is a good window. You never had a window. Now you got a window. It's pretty cool to have a window. Juice F5 says, my best friend got divorced this past year and not living with his kids has decimated. Exactly. Can you imagine? You love your kids. You can't be with your kids. Yeah. Yep. I can relate with some of that stuff in my situation when it was really, really ugly between my parents. Won't get into the details, but it was bad. It was really, really bad. Vlad Delto says, bring a QB that is going to be available throughout the season. Tua has been missing a bunch of games. Well, that's why you bring in an Andy Dalton, a Gardner Minshew, that kind of stuff. That's what you bring in. See, on this show, don't just throw out a statement. What backs it up? Give me proof. It's like bring in a QB. Who are you going to bring in? What's realistic? I want to hear what's realistic. Like the other guy. Oh, go sign Laramie Tunsil. Well, Laramie Tunsil's under contract, dude. And they're committed to Teron Armstead. What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell do you know about football? Do you understand the business? What is it, Spock? No, you don't. So you throw stupid ass comments out there like, let's go sign a left tackle when you're already committed to another one. Oh, and by the way, the left tackle you want to sign hasn't even been released. He's under contract. Oh, and by the way, he's probably their best player on the team. You think they might be releasing him? Probably not. But, that's the problem that comes. So if you want to throw something out, make sure you have something to back it up because you will be challenged on this show. It's not a matter of, oh, bring somebody in. Who? Because I want to know so you know that you have no idea what the hell you're talking about because that person, this person may not even be available. That person's unrealistic. Whatever it is. but you got to know what the hell you're talking about. Too many of you throw stuff out. I see it with radio hosts too, that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, national, local. I see it with TV guys. They do stuff and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't have any proof of sitting on a toilet. You just got to believe, brother. There you go. That's it. OG, whatever says, did the big no say Spo might be a better coach than Riley? Take it in, folks. Y'all might not hear a dumber option all year. Take it in. Right? You can make that argument, right? You can make that argument that Spo has done a better job here than Riley did with the Heat. It's crazy stuff. But that you can say those kind of things because the guy has coached all kinds of players and changed things up. I'm not saying he is, but you can make that argument. Big O, what the F are you talking about post-mortem Monday? I don't know. Why don't you rewind and find out or listen to the post-game show? Lofi says Tom Brady can maybe teach Tua to fall without getting hurt so easy. Well, no, what Tom Brady can teach him is to just get rid of the football. That's it. Just get rid of the football like he does instead of hanging on to it for 4 or 5 seconds. Big O, what Dolphin player this year leveled up and what player leveled down? Well, Wilkins leveled up. Jalen Phillips leveled up. God, Kader Kohou had to have leveled up for sure. Tua leveled up. Let's see. Waddle leveled up because he was more of a possession receiver his rookie year because of the shitty offense. Who else? Javon Holland leveled up, having to carry all the crap he had to deal with back there. Sealer obviously leveled up, always does. What else do we have? Mostert leveled up. Wilson leveled up. Gesicki would have leveled up if they actually stink and use him. Oh, Rob Hunt leveled up. He definitely leveled up. Bradley Chubb leveled down. Oh, Teron Armstead, I got to say, leveled up because he kept playing with all those injuries and he stuck in there yesterday, and that was pretty ballsy. I know he had a lot of injuries, but I got to respect the man for showing some serious toughness. So I'm going to go that he leveled up. Leveled down was Chubb. Leveled down was X due to injury. Level way, way down into the sewage was Byron Jones. Leveled down Raekwon Davis. Leveled down Emmanuel Ogbah. Leveled down Austin Jackson could not be reliable this year. It was struggling as a player, and then this year was struggling to stay healthy. So he leveled down. Liam Eichenberg leveled down. I haven't seen anything yet from Liam Eichenberg to give him any kind of a pass, whatsoever. Maybe he'll develop down the line. I don't know, but right now I still don't see it. Robert Jones leveled up, by the way. Connor Williams leveled up. Jason Sanders leveled down. Finished strong, but still leveled down overall. Danny Crossman leveled down, the special teams coach. I'll go the punter, I'm brain farting now. He leveled up. I like what he did this year, considering it. Bridgewater, that's a good one. Down. Let me see what you guys wrote here. You might be reminding me of stuff. Gesicki, I'm not even going to say he leveled down. That's not his fault. It's more the coach. I got to blame the coach more than anybody else. Omar says, I can honestly say I don't think there was any Dolphin fans that thought we would be in this, let alone a chance to win. Yeah, I agree. Morstead. That's it. Thank you, Bromar. What changes do I see coming? I would imagine middle linebacker. You got to find somebody. I would imagine your backup quarterback has got to change. Your kicker's got to change, or you bring in competition for the kicker. You got to change your special teams coach. You've got to try to find a middle linebacker that can really help you out against these running quarterbacks. You need somebody that has some really nice athleticism and strength and can fight through the trash. And you got to find a nasty sumbitch for that area of the football team. Zeus Castro says, Big O, with the emergence of Cater, should we release Byron Jones to give Wilkins Byron Jones is going to be released anyways. They don't want Byron Jones back. Why would you want a guy that was not, committed to your team? It would be, I just don't think it would make any sense. And the way Cater's played, I'm playing him opposite of X next year. I'm keeping Boyer, Brady Jackson. Unless you tell me I can get like this, proven defensive coordinator that's a nasty, badass dude. I get it. You get an established one, fine. I don't know if there's any available. Doesn't look like the guy that all of you have been repeating like parrots, right? Well, he just interviewed in Denver. Okay, and apparently he's going with Sean. This is why I don't waste my time with hypotheticals like some of you idiots. You want to talk about something that there's not even, you don't even know if it's an option yet. I don't know. Well, free agents, well, let me find out. Let's wait till they actually announce who the free agents are. Who signs, who's staying, who's getting tagged. Like Laramie Tunsil, this guy wants to sign a guy that's already under contract. And I don't know, are they releasing him? Anybody say that they're releasing him? Why would you release Laramie Tunsil if you're Houston when you have no players left? He's really easy to re-sign next year. You don't have a lot of money committed to anybody. And left tackles are, and you traded for him and all that. You gave up all those picks for him. You're just going to let him go now after using him for 2 years? That doesn't make any sense. But that's my problem with hypotheticals. And then you guys are talking about, you need to go get Vic Fangio. Well, guess what, idiots? Vic Fangio isn't available after all the crap that you guys talked about with Vic Fangio. But this is why I don't entertain it, because I don't know if Vic Fangio is available. Well, guess what? Now he interviewed already with Denver. And the report is he's going with Sean Payton. So Vic Fangio was never available, did not want to come here. It's just you all wasting your time. And then you try to waste mine. That's it. I agree. Keep Boyer. He actually did a nice job considering all the injuries. You can easily argue Boyer did a better job with the defense than McDaniel did with just offense. Get a new special teams coach, though. Yeah, definitely, for sure. The special teams coach, I wasn't impressed with, I got to say. Yep, the team never gave up on Boyer. You are correct, Christopher Henry. Pablo says, Big O, Cooper Rush is available. Cowboys released him in many games. He was better than Dak. That might not be a bad backup if that's what you can bring in. A Gardner Minshew I would like also. Big O, is there a chance Geno doesn't re-sign with the Seahawks and goes to Miami? If you don't follow the league, they already said he's coming back next year as quarterback of the Seahawks. And he's not better than Tua. It's like, really is sad sometimes. Some of you out there. It really is. It's kind of pathetic. All right, let's get ready. Hour number 3, fantasy. But we're going to get into a drafting. We're going to talk NFL draft. We're going to talk NFL offseason, free agency. So there's going to be a lot of NFL talk, and then that'll affect fantasy. That's kind of the way we're going to attack these Sports Grill fantasy football segments. They're really not fantasy. It's really more NFL talk, and that's kind of where Andy and I are going to go to start off our number 3 right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. PPR, Draft, Keeper, Dynasty. It's the Sports Grill, Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Andy Behrens.
Oh, yes. There he is, ready to rock and roll. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
I'm great. This is a really good wild card weekend. This is Dolphins result notwithstanding, these games have been awesome. This was really fun.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It was, listen, nobody expected the Dolphins. We were kind of fearful of a 45-10 game, 35-10 game, or something like that. And if it wasn't for Mike McDaniel's brain farts, they might have won that game. I mean, it's pretty rare to have a game to sit back and say, hey, guys, the coach fucked up our chances, right? Like special teams, you had nothing to do with it. Defense, you had nothing to do. We had nothing. It was that dude. He screwed it up with mismanaging everything, and And so basically that's kind of what happened yesterday. It's like Mike McDaniel kind of pissed away your chance at actually coming up with one of the most shocking wins in playoff history.
I gotta say, he's one of my just in terms of like the press conferences that we get from Mike McDaniel, the interviews that we get from Mike McDaniel, I find him really refreshing. I find him easy to root for. I like him. I get it that it seemed like it was an entire coaching staff. Maybe meltdown is too strong a word, but the obviously the basically game deciding delay of game seems like he really thought that was a first down. The other notable thing is that had they got the playoff in time, it was a terrible play. It wasn't going anywhere. It was getting swallowed up. I just hate those runs out of shotgun like that. They engulfed him way behind the line of scrimmage, so that wasn't going anywhere. But still, thrilling game. It's a bummer that it comes down to like a weird quirk of coaching negligence, but a really fun game that honestly I didn't expect the Dolphins to be in. I did not think coming off everything that we've seen from Skylar this season. I didn't think they let him go downfield. I didn't think he wanted to go downfield. I thought their ceiling in terms of points was like 12. So it was all really exciting.
I agree. You look at Mike McDaniel as a coach. You're staying with him, right? Because I look at the Dolphins and for the last few years, all the Bills did was just trash the Dolphins, beat them by tons and tons of points. I could argue the Dolphins should have won all 3 games this year.
Yeah,
they certainly should have won 3 weeks ago. McDaniel screwed that one up along with the players. Not Tua. Actually, Tua did everything to win that game. He threw 2 touchdowns in one drive to Sherfield and to Hill, and they both dropped touchdowns. And Braylon Sanders did not run down another touchdown that Tua threw. So that game was set up. They were running. He got away from the run, which would have helped out their offense. Clock, less possessions for Josh, all these things. They literally, and yesterday, anything could have happened if you actually get the plays right. That 4th and 1, you should have converted it. And then you keep going. You were pretty close to already tying the game. Worst case scenario, you were alive in this contest. And I really like McDaniel overall. I just think he's got to fix his in-game. I mean, the man didn't win a challenge till week 18. So there's a lot of shit he has to fix in game, but his game planning and play design is elite as it gets.
Yeah, I think he's actually a great designer of an offense, and I think you have to give a little bit of a leash to people who haven't actually been in a head coaching position before. You also you don't want to be the team that is in a cycle of replacing the head coach every couple of years, because you're not doing any favors to your quarterback, to your young developing quarterback, who right now has a coach who fully believes in him, or at least if he doesn't, he sells it really well, right? Like you've got a system that is suited for him. I think that McDaniel has shown an ability to adapt to the hand that he's dealt, perhaps not immediately, but given a little bit of time, right? And I think McDaniel is somebody who probably gets better based on where he is in the sort of career arc. So, the team that has a choice ahead of them is the Chargers, right? Because that team actually seems to, like, you listen to them after that loss, they like Staley. Like, those players like Staley almost to a man. Herbert, full endorsement for him. They really like him. But this is, well, I mean, a lot of this is play calling, right? Like that second half was a disaster. Like, how does Travis Etienne end up with twice the number of second half carries that Austin Eckler had?
Well, wait a minute. One team can run, the other one can't.
Yeah,
but
they got
San Diego, as I say, the Chargers are not a good running team this year. Actually, that's something, and I get it. But by the way, let me ask you something. Why doesn't the quarterback sell out a little bit more? How come he didn't run a little bit more to extend some plays and extend some drives? I wonder, because Josh Allen. Well, you saw him yesterday. There was one play where he just said, "That's it, bro. I got to run this." I've seen Trevor Lawrence do that. He could have done it, and he didn't do it. You also, listen, this is how you live this year. You've lived by the pass. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eckler has over 100 catches. He's been, even though it's pathetic per catch, but he's been more of a receiver than he has been a runner. So nothing really changed in that game. Your running
I
back
will say
more
I will say
of a
the thing with
receiver.
Eckler as a runner is he's a big play guy, right? Like it's not they only gave him 5 carries in the second half and all of them were on first down. So super predictable usage, right? None of it went anywhere, but he's definitely a guy like that guy's got a bunch of plays of over 30 yards this year. So keep giving him chances and you know he's going to break one. Like that's the type of runner he is, that's the type of skill player that he is generally. I couldn't believe that he only received 6 second half touches and they came out throwing. Like I didn't even mean to get us on this game, but I kind of understand coming out in the second half.
I love talking any choking stuff with Justin Herbert. I always enjoy that.
I kind of get coming out in the second half and just saying, you know what, we're gonna try to score on this drive because if we score on this drive, the math is with us and there's almost no path, right? Like if they were to get a touchdown in the first possession of the second half, then it's just real hard. Like you can't make the math work on Jacksonville coming back. So I get throwing a lot there. I don't get not trying to like grind down clock a little bit. But you're right, they're not really built for it. It's not what they've been all year.
Well, they were I mean, look, during the year he'll average 4, but in that game it was like 2 yards. They weren't really against that defense. They weren't really moving. You're right. They should have run more. There's no doubt. Listen, Kyle Shanahan should have run more against Tom Brady with a 25-point lead.
Yeah.
When I look at the guy we have here, he's done some of that brain fart shit too this year. When you're gouging the Bills 7 yards a carry, and here comes 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you're passing. It's like, yo, moron, let's go. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep running the ball. You're punching them in the mouth. The Green Bay game. You're gouging them 9 yards a carry. Here comes 3rd and 3, and you decide to pass again. You get cute. And so McDaniel sometimes outthinks himself. And maybe Brandon Staley does the same thing. Or, by the way, it wasn't really Staley. It's Carmichael, right? I think is the name of the offensive coordinator. So he's the guy that, needs to be criticized because he's the guy that's calling the pass plays. But again, if Justin Herbert is who he is, if Justin Herbert is what some people make him out to be, not me, but others out there, you got to make some plays too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was a lot of both within,
a lot of underneath stuff. There's no balls going downfield and taking some chances, bro. And you need more of that.
Some of that was the absence of Mike Williams. I will say though that there was, there's all this optimism about Herbert coming into the season, not only on the part of the fantasy community but the NFL community at large. Like we turned him into an elite quarterback before he'd really backed it up, right? Like last year, last year, a great year.
Don't include me in the we, bro. Don't include me.
No. Hey, believe me,
I've never been a believer of that kid. I'm sorry. I see Jeff George. That's what I see. Seriously, I see an athletic Jeff George.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't see a guy that plays with Josh Allen's moxie, balls, determination, will. Which, by the way, Lawrence, determination, balls, will. He's going to do
while I'm thinking of it, let me just tell you something about Trevor Lawrence. To have thrown 4 interceptions in the first half and to have made that touchdown pass to Evan Ingram, which is barely open. That thing was like that was NFL open, right? Like it's only open for a second, and only if you put it over one guy and between 2 others. Like that is an incredible throw to make, having already basically given the game away, right? Like you've thrown 4 picks already, and you're going to put that ball out there to your tight end. No fear. Like whatever else you think of Trevor Lawrence in his first half performance, absolutely zero fear. Knew the throw to make, made it. You can definitely imagine wanting to go to war with that guy.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the part that when I look at that dude, I see a lot of the skill set. Forget about it. There's no arguing about Herbert's skill set. It is elite as elite it gets, dude. He wows you with these throws, but when you look at the substance, the total substance of it, you still had one touchdown in that game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you had
No,
12
it's true.
yards rushing. You had your size, your ability, your speed, your strength. Brother, I see other guys like you. Manufacture a drive.
Yeah.
Take it into your own hands. I've never seen that kid play like Trevor Lawrence or like Josh Allen when he has the ability to play like them. And that's where I just think that there's that it is missing from
Yeah.
him. I think everybody's wowed with the pure ability, which that's how we used to say about Jeff George. Oh my God. Did you see that throw? Did you see that guy's arm? Did you see where he put up 400 yards today? And then when you really need him, he was going to get small in those moments. And that's my problem with this kid. I don't see him grow in those moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a fair comparison.
Even inaccurate Cam Newton would sell out and do whatever the hell he needed to do to win. And he doesn't have the accuracy that this kid has.
Yeah.
But you got to add that other element next to your beautiful talent is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it like maybe the right comp is like Jay Cutler if Jay wasn't a jerk, right? Right? Like Justin Herbert seems
Another
like a really
guy.
nice guy. Yeah,
Another guy.
all
Another
the
guy
talent
that
in the
wowed you
world.
with his talent. You
And
know,
if you put him in a generic skills competition, he would probably win it, right? Like, absolutely looks the part. Remember when Herbert was coming into the league, my Yahoo colleague Charles Robinson always said, he didn't know exactly how he would finish up as in terms of reputation in the NFL, but for damn sure he wouldn't, like, if he was an agent representing any other quarterback in that class, he would tell his guy, don't sit next to Justin Herbert. Don't let yourself get photographed next to Justin Herbert, because Herbert looks the part, right? Like, he's huge,
right. Yes.
chiseled,
Perfect.
absolutely looks the part, but hasn't played to it just yet.
Perfect. The two kids in Weird Science created the perfect quarterback, bro. Seriously, perfect. I mean, you can't build it any perfect than Justin Herbert. You really cannot. Okay, because even his accuracy is better than Josh Allen's. You know, Josh will still brain fart you, and
It's
he'll
been a
be
weird
off.
year for Josh Allen. Yeah,
Right.
Like,
What Josh is a clutch sumbitch.
yeah,
Like, he'll miss some throws, but then in the key moment when you need a play, that's where he just has that it quality about him. You know what I mean? Trevor, on the other hand, is accurate, aggressive, will run, will take a beating, will, just fearless. And like you
fearless.
just said, when you throw that many interceptions and you don't go into the abyss, you are as mentally strong as it gets. And one of them obviously was not his fault, that the referees just missed, Samuel just practically mugging a human being right on the field. I mean, Samuel should be serving like 10 days in jail for that mugging right there. I mean,
and that one actually didn't even really have consequences, because I think that one was on fourth down. Like, it was fine. They were going to turn it over anyway. The first interception was like batted by two different guys, right? So there were a little bit of flukiness, but the next two were bad throws. Like, a couple of them were bad throws. And then just to come back and stick the throw that he did for the touchdown, I thought was incredible.
I didn't think they would come back. I thought it was over at 27-0 because I just don't look at their offense to be that explosive. You know what I'm saying? And
yet they've done, like, they did it against the Raiders, right? Like, it's not the first time that we've seen them, buried in a game and then come roaring back. They get Calvin Ridley next year too.
But you know why we overlooked that? Because the Raiders do that with everybody else.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely true. They get Calvin Ridley next year, and that's gonna that offense is gonna be really fun.
Yeah, Josh says, guys, our lead is 14 points. Can we stop playing now? Okay, that's over. Okay, this is where we give the game back, guys. Okay, there we go. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's go to the buffet when we're done. All right. So anyway, Lamar Jackson. He sent a message to his team today. Did you see that?
Oh, I haven't seen this. I do not know.
Yes, very interesting. So I'd like to know where you stand, because this will affect dynasty leagues down the line. When you have something good, Jackson posted on Instagram, you don't play with it. You don't take chances losing it. You don't neglect it. When you have something good, you pour into it. You appreciate it, because when you take care of something good, that good takes care of you too. Well, this really sounds like a Campbell's soup commercial. But anyway, so overall, obviously he's not happy. He wants his new contract. This is a very interesting dynamic for me. Personally, I would not give him a new contract. I don't believe in him as a passer. I was going back and forth with a Raven fan last night. I said, you guys realize that if you actually got like a good passer, a real passer, with the way that team plays defense and can run the ball, you would be Super Bowl contenders, not just playoff participants, and he agreed with me on that. And whether it's Jackson or Huntley, I still think you need to take it to the next level, but you're in a tough place. You've designed an offense for him.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's the thing.
That you're committed to him. Yeah.
It's not that different from what Miami is. I mean, they're different players, but it's not that different from what Miami is trying to build with Tua. Like you build your offense to the player, and that's what they've done. And again, it's the NFL. You can't just like shake the Etch-a-Sketch every couple years and think that you're going to reinvent it and it's all going to be fine. Like if you move on from Lamar Jackson, you're in the doldrums for 4 years. Like that is a decision to be bad for a little while. That's not you're not going to get like Derek Carr and come roaring back next season. It's just not going to happen. Like they built it around Lamar.
Listen, you're so in it that you have Huntley as your backup, that you're getting a guy that's kind of like him so he can do a lot of the things that you normally do, and you don't have to change it up, because it was so weird. You've got Lamar and then Joe Flacco's backing him up, and it's like, what? That whole offense?
Totally, absolutely wrong. I will also say that team, and this is a real crack in the armor for the Ravens right now, because J.K. Dobbins was ripping his usage immediately after the game, right? Like Dobbins came out of that thing, and I'll also say, you'll see J.K. Dobbins ask out of a game several times, and so then to go immediately to the press afterwards and say, how do I end up with whatever it was, 13 touches? How is that not me getting the ball in the goal line instead of Huntley trying to stick it out? I don't know, man. That's a bad look. And Sammy Watkins, who just showed up on the scene criticizing Lamar Jackson, is a really bad look. The only guy that really stuck up for Lamar and had his back at all was Marlon Humphrey. I don't know. That's a bad scene in Baltimore right now, off of a pretty competitive loss. I
gotta say something. Lamar Jackson did the right thing. Why? He'd only put himself in a bad. Listen, he's not a pocket passer.
Yeah, well, if you're Lamar Jackson,
a guy with a bad knee, makes him a pocket
This isn't
passer.
like Phillip Rivers playing on a bad knee. This is somebody whose everything is predicated off of his ability to run the football, and he's got such gravity as a runner, and so many of the few good things that have happened for him as a passer this year have happened because defenses you're sucked up. You're like, uh-oh, Lamar's taken off, and then somebody's wide open, deep downfield. Those are the best moments. I mean, they have a trash receiving core right now.
Years ago played with that knee that was just mangled, but he could do that because he just needs to snap, take 3 steps back, and make a decision and throw because that's who he was.
Yeah.
So guys like that, like Marino, his Achilles was all screwed up for the rest of his life. He didn't need it. He was going to move 2 steps this way, 2 steps that way, 1 step forward, 1 step back. That's it, dude. He was just going to do a samba. He was just going to a little samba. He wasn't going to start running around all over the place. He didn't need that. And
there's absolutely no point asking Lamar Jackson to just be a pocket passer throwing the ball to frickin' Demarcus Robinson and Sammy Watkins. That ain't going to work. Your receivers are terrible. You're not fundamentally like a stuck in the pocket sort of passer. If you can't get on the move, you're not Lamar Jackson. You have no hope of being the MVP version of Lamar Jackson. So I totally get that. No part of me thinks that he should have played. It sounds like it's a pretty significant knee injury. And again, you're not Drew Bledsoe. You're not Phillip Rivers. You're not just some guy who's a statue back there. Your whole game is your ability to move.
And by the way, now we get this. I always love this. I Got Game, New Jersey says, if Lamar played last night, Baltimore wins. Really? Does he win in the playoffs? I'm sorry, I must have missed that breaking news. What usually happens to Lamar when he gets to the playoffs? Oh, thanks for playing. Appreciate it.
I mean, not this version, not Lamar if he can't move. I don't think
No,
they
no.
win. Like,
But either way, when he's every year he falls short in the playoffs. That's where he falls short, dude. That's where he doesn't really.
the guy's pretty young. The guy's pretty young. I feel like Lamar's going to win in the playoffs.
I'm not a
down the
believer
road.
in his. I'm not a believer in his arm. Eventually, once you get to the playoffs, they shut your run down and they force you to beat you from the pocket, and that's not where he's going to win. I'm not. Look, right now, I still don't believe in your boy. I don't believe in Lamar. But Jalen Hurts is the one guy out of the running quarterbacks that he's the one that's improving his accuracy.
Well, they've given Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith. Let's give Lamar some weapons. Let's give Justin. Fields some
but
weapons.
even with those weapons, I've watched him drop it right in the basket. Like accuracy has improved with Jalen Hurts, and he does it with all his receivers. It doesn't matter who it is, even tight ends or whatever. His accuracy has improved, and to me, all of these running quarterbacks, until you learn to beat people consistently from the pocket and use the running ability as the weapon, not as the main part of your game, you will not live long in this league and they will break you down. And so to me, your boy has to take that next step where Jalen is at. If you're stuck in that abyss where Lamar's been at, that you have the limited passing tree and you're not accurate all the time, and if you look at his games, you'll see he'll miss people wide open. And sometimes they're in the end zone when he's missing them wide open. A lot of times this year they had to settle for threes because he could not complete the drives. And the Miami game was a perfect example. You take a 21-point lead.
Yeah.
And here comes Tua back, and the defense keeps shutting you down, and you can't answer. And you can't answer because you can't run. Because Miami shut down the run. You got that one run in, the 74-yarder. Outside of that, you couldn't do any damage. You got to beat people from the pocket. All of these running quarterbacks have got to beat it. And the one guy that I'm buying now is Jalen Hurts because he's showing it to me. Your guy better get to that point because
I have now realized
you cannot
what people
live on the run. You cannot.
I have now realized what people are going to say if the Eagles actually win the Super Bowl this year, which is that, Jalen became a pocket passer instead of focusing on the fact that
he got better. No, he got better because he still has his moments. He got his moments, but they got him receivers. You are correct. They did get him receivers. Of course, you got to get receivers. Marino had Clayton and Duper, bro.
Yeah.
Montana had Rice and Taylor and excellent tight ends and Roger Craig and Mahomes has always had weapons too, and he's got one of the best tight ends to ever play in the damn game and all that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs weapons, dude. Okay. Bradshaw had Stallworth and Swan and Franco Harris and everything else. So everybody has weapons. Yes, but you got to be accurate too. And that's the one thing for the running guys, once you get that hook, because I think that's where we're headed now, Andy. In the next 10 to 20 years, the evolution of the quarterback will be much more mobile, and you'll get more of the combination of the guy that is mobile and accurate, which has not been the norm, as you know, in the history.
I actually think that Trevor Lawrence is kind of the model for this because Trevor Lawrence can run, and if they asked him to do it, oh yeah, for sure. If they ask, I think Trevor Lawrence is every bit the runner that Josh Allen is. He certainly was in college, and if they asked him to do it more, he'd get you more. Like that guy could run for 500 yards a year. It's definitely in his skill set. You saw it in the Jets game. He's great at it. They just happen to not ask him to do it at this time. Like if you can't already tell, I was wowed by Trevor Lawrence's ability to come back in that game.
It keeps you alive in this game. You have to be able to beat them in the pocket, so that way they're not forcing you to run and take all those hits. Because you're a quarterback, bro. You're not built to take hits. There's no way. They broke down Cam Newton, dude. That guy's built like Adonis. So all these running quarterbacks, they got to be able to do. They got to be able in certain games say, "Oh, really? Okay, watch. I'm going to stay right here. Da 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 da," and you're
for
done.
sure.
And it's over.
Sure.
And on the next game, I'm going to go da-da, and then I'm going to run for another, 75 yards. So you don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Look at Trevor Lawrence. He needed all those points, yet he didn't run. What was his stats? Trevor Lawrence yesterday. Day before, what was it? I think he ran for like 12 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It wasn't much, and they didn't do any of the design stuff with him. Yeah.
Why? Because he could stay in the pocket and beat you. And so use the run as the weapon. Don't use it as the main part of your game. And
well, that's what Mahomes has mastered, right? Like Mahomes doesn't do it all game and then he breaks off a 25-yard, like when they absolutely need it on 3rd and long, he'll get you like 21 yards on the ground.
That's when I think the Jalen Hurts and the Justin Fields are going to become the nastiest guys out there, because once they settle in the pocket and they can beat you, and then they can use their legs, oh my God, it's impossible to stop those kind of
I'm with you.
And plus, running only ends like where Lamar is, where Justin ended, where Cam Newton ended. It just doesn't pay off, man. Eventually, they're going to break you down because these guys are too tough and too strong. So what do you think? What happens with the Lamar Jackson situation? How does Baltimore? I agree with you. I think they agree to a deal, but I think because he doesn't have an agent, I think a lot of this guaranteed stuff is what's going to get in the way.
It feels like they're gonna be headed for like a franchise situation, which is really unfortunate because it just kicks it down the road. It seems pretty clear to me that Lamar is asking for top dollar, as as anyone is entitled to, and the Watson contract is a real wrinkle in quarterback contracts right now. But if he holds firm to that, or if he won't accept like a shorter term deal for a ton of money, I don't know. We might be headed to a franchise situation and just more. We're gonna be talking about this for another 2 years.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, we got a game tonight, Cowboys and Buccaneers. Let's go with a little daily fantasy. So we get ready. Dak Prescott today, passing yards, 247.5, higher or lower?
Yeah, I'd go higher on that. They might be kind of junky yards. To be honest with you, I don't know what to expect from this game because either team can no show. We've seen it. Like either team can absolutely no show. I think it's
the Cowboys and Brady could look old.
Yeah. And that's a really frisky Dallas defense. The Tampa Bay defense, by the way, is at least in Yahoo's daily game, they're a minimum price defense. They're like $10, and they're facing a guy who led the NFL in interceptions. So that seems like a reasonable play if you're doing any kind of DFS. I've absolutely no idea what to expect. It's part of the reason that I'm really looking forward to this game. It's crazy. These two teams gave us the regular season game of the year just last year, and they couldn't stop scoring. It was so fun. And now Dallas could give us anywhere from 6 points to 46 points, and I wouldn't be surprised. I never have any idea what to expect from Dallas. And Tampa, until they got the one game against Carolina, couldn't get anything explosive downfield. I have no idea. I'll tell you that I've set like some single game lineups for this thing, and I've got Godwin going for me. I feel like Godwin's going to have a game. I feel like Tony Pollard can have a game because Tampa's been.
Let me ask you. Hold on, Tony Pollard rushing 47.5. Ezekiel 49.5 rushing. Higher or lower? Which one do you like most?
Oh yeah, I like Pollard there. The real strength of Tampa's run defense is between the tackles, and that's what they do with Zeke, right? Like they plow Zeke in between the tackles. They run him right up the gut, and he's good in short yardage situations, but he's not been some monster. He's not picking up 5-6 yards a carry, anything like that. They don't care about getting Zeke to the edge. They're gonna run him between the tackles for tough yards. And he's not going to be particularly efficient. He might fall into the end zone, but I don't think he's going over 50 yards.
Okay. By the way, Dak, 1.5 touchdowns, over or under?
Wouldn't bet it. Yeah, if you're making me guess, I'd say 2. I'd say he throws 2 touchdowns, but I wouldn't bet it because I have so little faith.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb, 76.5 yards receiving or 6 receptions. Michael Gallup, 3 receptions, 37.5 yards receiving. Higher or lower for any of those?
Yeah, CD Lamb I really like because they've just built the whole offense around him over the last month or so, right? It's totally common for him to now see like a dozen targets in a game. That wouldn't surprise. 120 yards wouldn't surprise. CD Lamb's been basically the most bankable part of that offense for the last month or so. Gallup is, I mean, he kind of is what he is. He's a high variance guy. They might take a deep shot or two. His best moments this season have been improvisational moments, right? When Dak is just scrambling and has to find somebody. So it's hard to rely on that. I think Dalton Schultz probably a better bet tonight than Michael Gallup. Don't really like that at all.
Okay. All right. One more before we go and wrap it up here. On the other side, Tom Brady, passing yards 277.5. Interceptions 0.5, higher or lower? Which one do you like most?
Yeah, I'll take the over on both of those. I think that's definitely happening. I think Dallas will turn you over. I think Brady's going to have to put the ball in the air a ton. I don't have much faith in. I mean, Tampa's running game was terrible this year overall. Don't have much faith in Leonard Fournette. He's stumbling around like Frankenstein out there. So I think this is going to have to be all on Tom Brady. It might not be. Yeah, we might not get a huge touchdown total out of Brady, but I think he's going over 300 yards in this thing.
Ricard White, are you going over under 35.5 yards since you don't like Fournette?
I might go under there. I bet they lean on Fournette, which, for better or worse. I don't think he's looked very good, but they've had some games where they just feed him and feed him and feed him.
All right. Godwin, you like over 69.5 yards receiving and 7 receptions. Which one?
Yeah, Godwin I really like. Definitely over the yardage. That's a big reception total. I feel like he can finish with 7 catches for, 80 plus yards. That is definitely in play. Get a touchdown. I think that's probably where you'd attack this Dallas defense.
65 yards for Mike Evans, over and under. Where are you going?
I don't love it. They haven't really forced the ball to him necessarily. Probably going to see a lot of digs. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. But they haven't really forced it to him. And I just, especially against that Dallas pass rush, I see a lot of short stuff. I don't know. It feels like Otton, like Fournette, like Godwin. I don't know. I could be entirely wrong about this, but I don't think we're going to see all those deep shots that, like the Carolina game was such an outlier for Mike Evans this year because he was just blowing past the coverage and just had his hand up right away. Like, oh, I'm here. But we've only seen that once this year. So I'm not counting on it again.
All right, what do you got going on in Yahoo so folks can check you out at Yahoo Fantasy?
Yeah, we still got the Yahoo Fantasy Forecast going. That is our podcast. We're going to be reviewing all the games tomorrow from a great wild card round, and then on Thursday, the guys will be previewing the next round.
There you go. Great stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. Andy, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up next week. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Big O. Appreciate it.
There you go. Plenty of football talk. That's how it's going to be with the segments. That way we get you ready for fantasy, but we're really talking pretty much football. That is our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with 8 great locations. You got to check out the new Doral location. It is awesome. And don't forget, $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles during the NFL games. We got one going on tonight with the Dallas Cowboys. They've added some new cocktails, the cherry lemonade and the tailgate tea, only $5. Domestic pitchers are $12. Bone-in wings, 15% off. And it is Monday. You get the single smash burger for only $7 at 8 great locations. Sports Grill. Enjoy it, baby.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
All right. Mike No-Go Zones gives us a little love on the Super Chat. He says, good afternoon, Big O. I welcome Dolphins Nation to join me in cheering for the Giants against Philly this Saturday night. There you go. So let's join in and help out Mike No-Go Zones. Mike, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. All right, the Dolphins have said goodbye. Goodbye for the remainder of the season. They have cleaned out the locker rooms. And guess what? Alan Poupart saw them cry and clean out the locker rooms. There wasn't really that much crying. I heard there was a lot of celebration because they said, damn, dude, we don't have to talk to Poupart again for a couple of months. This is freaking awesome. So let's find out how happy the players were to get away from Alan Poupart right now in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Champagne breaking out, all that. Why you got such a fuzzy camera?
Weird, right? It's weird, right?
Yeah, bro. You like women do that stuff. They
don't know what's going on.
Like they don't look so that they try to hide their defects or something. What is it? You don't polish your camera or something? Your lens?
I look like I look. I have no idea. Jeez. It's a very funky effect. Hold on. Let me try to move. See what happens. See now it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm in the media room here at.
We can tell. We know you're not home.
Well,
wait a minute. There's your daughter crossing in the background there. No, you are home. Okay, all right.
You're funny. Never let anybody say you're not funny because you're funny. Okay, how's that?
So,
Jesus.
No, it's I don't know what's going on with your lens, bro. There's something going on there. But anyway, we got you either way. It's all
Okay.
good in the hood. So were they breaking out the champagne? We don't have to talk to Poupart again for several months. Is that how it went this afternoon?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. There's going to be a nasty cleanup job in the locker room because of all the confetti that they were throwing.
Nothing like when we walked into the locker room and we saw Flutie Flakes all over the floor, right? After Jimmy Johnson, we were all walking around going, what the hell is this? And then we found out after that it was Jimmy Johnson tearing up Flutie Flakes for the team before to try to jack them up and all that kind of stuff.
It was a great game. No, it was a typical locker cleanout day. Guys in good spirits, said pretty much everything you hear every year at locker cleanout day. They're excited about what's in store for the future. Disappointed they couldn't go further. Even though they sure as hell went further in the game yesterday than a lot of people thought they would.
Dude, it's screwed up, right? That you walk away from that game going, hey, by the way, the head coach screwed his own team's chances of trying to win that game. I mean, basically, the players were doing everything possible to win. And, yeah, well, the head coach and the coaching staff kind of, screwed up so many situations. That third down for the kid where he was throwing like he had no shot to win, and he throws that interception. The fourth down obviously was a mess. The managing of the timeouts. I mean, just so much that was disastrous. It's scary that if they actually handle certain calls, they still might have won that game yesterday. Nuts.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention drop passes too, which were a major problem yesterday. And I mean, they didn't do Skylar Thompson any favors. Not that he played great, but he wasn't horrible, and they didn't do him any favors. And I've literally on Twitter just last week, I wrote about how much I hate the wide receiver screen on 3rd and 19. And my suggestion is to chuck it deep. Don't chuck it to the 33-yard line, which is what happened. Chuck it to the 50, to midfield. So if it's intercepted, it's like a punt. But that was a poor decision. That's the one he made. The other interception, he just didn't see the guy underneath as he was rolling to his left.
He's a youngin', bro.
Correct. But no, it's not just. I mean, it's literally four false starts. I don't remember how many delay of game penalties, and you burn your 3 timeouts with 4 minutes left in the second half. And I've made the argument. I said this on Twitter yesterday. Take the damn delay of game penalty, for Christ's sake, especially if it's first or second down. Take the damn delay of game penalty. Save those timeouts. In the end, the Dolphins had a timeout when there was a confusion of, is it 4th down? No, you didn't get the 1st down. Then they could have called a timeout and set up a good play.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's and again, he's a rookie coach. And not only is he a rookie coach, we also let's have a little conversation here. He's a rookie coach that also has taken the responsibilities of play calling, which is something that is enormous for an experienced coach to handle, being the head coach and the play caller at the same time. Defense or offense, I don't care who you are, what kind of coach you are. That's a lot on your plate. It's already a lot just to be a head coach, but you're also going to be the play caller, and that's where it gets kind of, hairy for him. And he's got to find a way to streamline from the play calling to the communication to the challenges, all of these things that he's had a lot of issues with. Now, again, the good thing is these are all correctable. This is not – I feel good about the team because I don't feel like this is Cam Cameron or this is Joe Philbin or this is – that Brian Flores can't build one side of the staff or something. No, this is a guy that he's got a good mind for this. He's got a great attitude. Players respond to him. Bro, they played hard as hell every single game all the way to the end of the year. We can't, you can't overlook that. There's a lot of positives going into it. And the good thing is the stuff that's going on right now with him, it's all really correctable.
No question. Here's another factor too that doesn't get talked a lot, and that offense is predicated a lot on pre-snap movement. Well, which is great because it messes up the defense. It shows you what they're going to do, but it also takes more time. So he's got to factor that in when next season, maybe a good part of the offseason training camp is spent, getting things done quicker. It had been an issue from time to time during the regular season. And for some reason, it was like Murphy's Law yesterday when it came to the play calling and getting stuff done on time. Yeah,
it was frustrating. By the way, a couple players let's talk about. First of all, you just talked about it, the penalties. Rob Hunt, while he had a phenomenal season, the one thing he's got to work on, he picks up way too many penalties. And by the way, again, very correctable here, okay? And yesterday, again, it reared its ugly head, and it's one of those things that I think he's one of those guys that has to work on the little things.
No question. But he's a keeper on that offensive line, which sadly remains a work in progress, but he's one foundational piece that you kind of I'm not sure if I like him better. I think might like him better at guard than I do at right tackle now. After seeing him like a game and a half, but no, he's an absolute keeper. And, it could be that in 1 year, for some reason, it was off in terms of it because most of his penalties are false starts. And
yeah, right. They're just mental force.
That's correctable. So I'm not overly concerned with that. So
another great player that I want to see retire and in the Ring of Honor, hopefully 12 years from now, 13 years from now, his name is Jalen Waddle. But Jalen Waddle has had a tendency all year of dropping balls. And he has those. By himself, he lost one game completely because there were 2 turnovers that were into points and completely changed the face of that game. Yep. But that's another thing yesterday. And he has also a tendency of jumping when he doesn't have to jump. And it's like makes it harder for him to make. I don't blame him, by the way, on the second drop. That was an underthrown ball that the defender got the arm in. It reminds me a lot of the Gesicki sideline play that Tua threw, but he threw it here where the defender got the arm out. If he throws it here where the defender can't get the arm in, Gesicki makes the catch and stays in bound, and maybe the whole thing changes in that drive there. But for me, it was underthrown because there were people who are kind of harsh on Waddle. I disagree on that one.
It was crazy.
It was underthrown.
I defended him too. I jumped all over him on the first one.
Of course.
But the second one, there's no excuse. I mean, literally, Tre'Davious White got his hand on the ball and dislodged it because the pass was underthrown. So that's ridiculous. The first
he leads him as long as he catches it. It's a touchdown.
Correct. But here's another factor on the first one that I don't think was brought up after the game. I'm wondering whether Waddle actually lost it into the sun a little bit, and that's why he jumped, because he kind of wasn't completely, laser focused on where the ball was. And because there was another play I think it was a deep pass for the Bills where their wide receiver looked like he was fighting the sun from that same direction. So who knows? Maybe I'm not going to absolve him of all of it because, yeah, drop passes were an issue the whole season with him. I don't think it's not like we saw like fabulous hands from the guy as a rookie either. I mean, you got him on the team because the dude is fast. So I think we're gonna have to live with the fact that he's gonna drop some passes, on balls that he should catch, but he's also going to create a lot of big plays that other wide receivers who will catch more balls consistently aren't going to make because they don't have the speed. So
I agree. The report, we talked about it on Thursday, but obviously this weekend they talked about how Tua's going to return. And we kind of told everybody on Thursday to stop talking about Tom Brady and all that shit. He's going to return. But what is the plan you think that should be for – we talked about the Flacco stuff and all that other stuff and Minshew and all of that. Do you think they're going to go in that direction? Do you think they're going to keep Skyler? Did Skyler do enough? Because for me, I was kind of worried about Skyler. I was thinking maybe you start looking for another young guy to kind of build on. But he did show me a little something yesterday. I got to give him some love. He was off in some things and, obviously made some mistakes. Some of them were out of his control. But overall, I thought he at least showed me something in this game that I said, maybe you can keep him as a project for one more year. Do you expect them to aggressively try to acquire another player or draft another player?
Not if you're keeping Skyler. What's the point of having two developmental quarterbacks? You're not getting Josh Allen or Joe Burrow picking in the second round. So that idea is shot. So you would be drafting for what? A developmental player. That's Skyler. There's no reason to go that route. You're not drafting a quarterback in the second round to be the number 2 guy. So to me, the number 2 guy has to be a veteran. You keep Skyler around. They carried 3 quarterbacks the whole season. I don't think that ever became a major issue, especially with the practice squad elevations, where if you're short on one position, you just bring guys up. It's not a big deal. Carry 3 quarterbacks again next year. Get yourself a backup who obviously doesn't have the durability issues that we saw from Bridgewater this year, because starting a playoff game with a rookie 7th round pick is not ideal. And yeah, it worked for San Francisco, but San Francisco has a Super Bowl roster, so that's a different story.
Yeah, God, that team is so complete. I mean, Purdy played mediocre and could have thrown a couple interceptions and everything, and yet all you got to do is just, facilitate, and that team is so good, man. They can just carry whatever quarterback is there. Just don't screw it up, kid. It's kind of like the Ben Roethlisberger first Super Bowl run. Remember, it's like, yo, kid, just get us the ball and we'll be fine. We're complete. We don't need you to carry us. Just do your job. We'll do the rest. That kind of stuff. That's kind of the way they've put Purdy in there, which has been just absolutely sensational. You're good with bringing back Tua, obviously. You're good with bringing back Mike McDaniel. Any changes you think they should make?
We talking about the entire roster? I guess that's
no. I'm talking about like coaches. I'm talking about like the coaches and that kind of stuff. Obviously, it'll be a long conversation if we start getting into players and all that. But like the main pieces, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the offensive whatever is McDaniel, but the defensive coordinator, the special teams coach, and all that stuff.
Correct. Well, they may have to address a quarterback's coach position because Darrell Bevel's name is all over the place. Apparently now he's a candidate for the Jets OC job, and he's made it clear. He told us like a few weeks back that he wants to become a head coach, and becoming an OC is a step higher than being a QB coach. So they may have to replace him. I'm not doing anything with Josh Boyer. I mean, the defense, I don't care if they give 34 points. They gave the Dolphins a chance to win yesterday. Point blank, period, end of story. So nothing there. I think Danny Crossman's in big trouble. I would imagine there'd be a new special teams coach on the way. Although in the last game, the Dolphins, hallelujah, got a long return. First time all year. Their longest punt return. Do you know what the longest punt return in the regular season was? 15 yards, 1-5. And then he pops one for 50 yesterday. So still now
if you follow the game, 15-yard punt return is actually like a really good return, by the way. Okay. All right.
Well,
I get what you're saying, but yeah,
not
you
as
know,
not as a season high because I did the
no,
research
no,
every
I
single
know, I
team.
know.
Sorry.
I know,
So-
but that's actually well over an average of a
Oh no
punt
no no
return.
no. Correct. No. But
No?
their average was like I think they were in the bottom third or
I'm
fourth
sure
or
we're
even like way back there. So I think Crossman might be in trouble. No,
Did Jason Sanders save his job?
I would say.
Wait, walk me through this. Is he under the kind of friendly contract that you don't need any bonuses right now for him, that it's down the line that you can actually bring in competition? Or is there a decision to be made on Jason Sanders right away because there's a roster bonus?
I don't believe, and I just checked it very recently. I don't think it's not egregious. I don't think you save anything off the cap if you get rid of them, and I think it costs like I don't know 2.2 of dead money or something. It's not significant.
Okay.
I don't think there's a need to like necessarily dump him, but I think they should bring in like a young guy, to challenge him. And if the young guy wows you in training camp or in the off season, then you make the switch. But I don't think you necessarily dismiss him because he didn't have a great year.
All right. Of the guys that could be gone or could be borderline, who goes and who stays?
Well, Gesicki's gone. Can't imagine Byron Jones is not gone. They have the two running backs I think are on 1-year contracts, Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert.
Both gone or one stay? Do they find a rookie to replace one of them?
I'd be very surprised if both were gone. I think they're going to bring back one of them. Could they bring back both? I don't know. Maybe.
Wilkins, Sealer.
Wilkins gets an extension. I mean, he's under contract for next year, but he's a keeper you want to have around for a while, and giving him a long-term deal, you can structure it to where you actually get some cap room with an extension. So I think that's
Sealer.
That's a no-brainer. Sealer, I just looked up this morning, and according to Over the Cap, he's still signed for another year. So
okay, great.
I'll have to double check that. So, but if he's not signed,
I thought he was a free agent this year. My bad.
I kind of did so too, but I went back and checked, and he's looking like he has 1 year left. Van Ginkel is a UFA. That may be one of those where he, of his own volition, say, you know what, the hell with this, because he's not getting a ton of playing time. I think he's better than his usage on defense.
I agree.
So some team might value him more, and I don't know about promising him, but telling him maybe you'll fit more into our plans at outside linebacker. And if you look at the Dolphins, he looks around, and you've got still Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb. The hell's the third one? Oh, and Emmanuel Ogbah, when he comes back, that's 3 edge rushers. And where does that leave Van Ginkel? Because I can't imagine Melvin Ingram will be back. I would think he'd be gone. Not that the Dolphins got anything out of him in the last month of the season.
No, he helped out early on, and early on he helped out, but he also has limitations to his game, and that's where they've got to become more versatile at linebacker. They've got to have guys that can cover and rush the passer, and just do everything. Not where there's a major hole in your game that the other team knows. Okay, these guys can't cover. Let's get them out in open space, and then it just becomes a real problem for your team.
Well, but the only thing they asked Ingram pretty much is go after the quarterback, and then but it wound up biting him yesterday because he went after Josh Allen on the play where he handed off to James Cook, and we're right around Melvin Ingram for an easy touchdown. I mean, easy touchdown.
I know, but it's kind of unfair, bro. You here, go catch Josh Allen. It's not that easy, dude.
Well, no, it's more your responsibility. Yeah, but the responsibility is you're responsible for the edge. So
I get it. I get it. It's just
you can't dive inside.
I know. I just kind of it's just like, man, playing to that guy is holy crap.
Except he was sloppy with the ball though yesterday.
Are we? Yeah. Well, by the way, that Buffalo offense will make mistakes. That's kind of been a thing throughout the year. They're so good that they can overcome those mistakes.
But here's the thing. Hear me out on this, and this is in response to those who are like saying And I heard that about the Baltimore-Cincinnati game. Well, if Lamar Jackson had played, Baltimore would have beaten Cincinnati because it was a close game. And if Tua had played, well, the Dolphins would have beaten Buffalo because it would have been a close game. I'm not convinced. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Josh Allen doesn't throw the ball down the field pretty much on every passing play if the Bills fear the Dolphin offense more than they feared it yesterday with Skylar Thompson, a quarterback instead of Tua.
Good point.
And I think they call a different game.
It's a good point. It's definitely a good point. So that's a great segue to what I wanted to ask you, which is, this is how I started the post-game show yesterday. And I know that we, heard Dave Wanstead say we're close. Okay. I still have those words ringing in my ear, and I know that we've been hearing about it for a long, long time, but I actually think that they are close. I really believe that all 3 Buffalo games could have been all wins for you, no matter who the hell was quarterback overall. That's how close those last 2 games, and we can make arguments that the coaches lost this game and that some of the players and the coach lost the last game, that all they had to do was hang on to the damn ball and make one right call or 2 on a running play, and maybe you end up in the victory column, where normally you were getting your asses handed to you by the Bills year in and year out, and the gap was so big. So what I told fans is that the gap has been reduced drastically. So I believe if you can make some of the right moves and then get the damn breaks of staying healthy, you could actually challenge and even win that division next year. Do you believe the Dolphins are actually closer than they have been maybe in the last 20 years to being a respectable franchise again?
No, without question. But that's going to be the key. Can you sustain it? Because we were having the same conversation in 2008 and 2016. The difference here, for example, is you have a young quarterback on the rise, but one of the similarities is you have an awful lot of key players who have durability issues, and including a couple who are a little bit older. Teron Armstead, who I love dearly, played the whole year, and again, he's got a very lengthy injury history. Didn't look right the whole year, and in fact today he was asked about it and basically just said, "Well, I was on the field, wasn't I?" Well, yeah, but you didn't look like X. If we're gonna be honest, so and then Tua was
to his credit, he won't make excuses. But
correct.
Like I recorded the interception. I put it on Twitter. I go, watch him run it back. Just watch him run it back. It's a gingerly way of running it back. He's not going because he can't. He can't go all out and cut and all that. You can tell. I know. Besides Teron Armstead, today Teron Armstead had surgery on whatever and successful surgery and whatever. He'll be ready for training camp. We're going to get that headline. I would not be shocked if we hear a headline that X needs some kind of surgery. Now, on the flip side of that, this actually turns into a positive, I believe, from here on out, because you're going to cut Byron Jones in the offseason. You can't cut both, but X probably knows that he will be cut for 2024. So he will be super motivated, to get healthy and have a great year to try to convince the Dolphins, no, keep me another year. Or when the Dolphins release him, he puts a good year out there that another team will then, give him a chance. So I think you're going to get a motivated X next year because he really will not know what his future holds in 2024.
Correct. But it's another case where you have to hold your breath that he doesn't get hurt because he's got problematic knees. And then another key guy is Bradley Chubb, who's also got a history of injuries. This is why if they hit a lot of luck next year with injuries, I think they're in a much better position they were after they made the playoffs in 2008 or in 2016.
I agree.
I don't want to necessarily take it to the bank and say it's a lock that they're going to contend. We won't know that, obviously, until next year.
I'm with you there. All right. What's the priority in free agency, whatever? If you had to pick 2 positions that the Miami Dolphins must fill going into 2023, what does Alan Poupar from Sports Illustrated say?
Middle
linebacker?
I was going to get there. I was starting with the offense. I'm going to give you, I'd say like a tight end.
Shit, dude, the one he wants. Okay.
Well, you're not getting George Kittle, but I mean,
who's in the draft? Who's in the draft that you like that can block and pass catch? I haven't gotten deep in there yet.
I saw Irv Smith Jr. being thrown out as a possibility from the Vikings.
Okay.
Especially now that they got Hawkinson and his role is kind of diminished. He might be interesting. Still an offensive lineman, maybe. Always
a tackle or a guard.
Yes. Probably more tackle because those guys are more important. And on defense, you mentioned it, middle linebacker, and then can never have enough corners.
Yeah. But at least one of the things that makes me feel good if I'm a Dolphins fan out there, they know how to unearth corners. So at least I know that they can find one anywhere, bro. Street or late in the rounds or whatever. It doesn't have to be a high pick, like Holland and Brandon Jones and X and Fitz. Obviously, guys that they picked early and they hit on all those guys. Iggy, they didn't. But that's the good thing about that one position. They have a tendency of being able to find them all over the place, even on the street. So that gives me some hope. But, man, they need a thumper in the middle, doggy. They need a guy that can run because you need a guy that can really spy on these running quarterbacks because the running backs didn't kill the Dolphins this year, but the running quarterbacks absolutely assassinated them.
They did. Although it was really disappointing that the season, not that they were going to do anything because the best case scenario after the fourth down was that they'd get the ball back with 30 seconds left, no timeouts. But the fact that it was, a running play that they had been so good at stopping the whole year where Singletary dragged 4 guys for the clinching first down. I was really disappointing.
Yeah, I was. No, I'm with you there. Hey, by the way, I'll leave you with this. What'd you think of my boy Justin Herbert there over the weekend? And by the way, on the flip side, what'd you think of Trevor Lawrence, who put himself into the abyss and climbed the hell out of it? Because I never thought that offense could climb out of a 27-point hole. But
they're both
talk to me.
They're both complete studs who are going to be problems in the AFC along with Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes for a while. And if you are going to just go on the surface and look at the Chargers scoring 3 points in the second half, knock yourself out. If you actually watched the game and saw no Mike Williams, the left tackle went out. Now they were down to their third left tackle. The running game, 7 carries, 7 yards in the second half. Field goal kicker misses a field goal. They call a jet sweep on third and less than a yard late in the first quarter when they're up 27-0. Wind up having to punt instead of getting the first down, which would have killed the clock. Gives Jacksonville an easy 7 points. Joey Bosa acts like a 5-year-old. This is after not knowing where he's lined up. Where at 27-7, they get a sack on third down.
Plus, they gave him 3 points in the half. They weren't even supposed to be leading anyway. When he's crying like a little bitch because in the first half they gave you 3 points by the referee screwing up a call where the quarterback mugged him and Samuel mugged the guy and that interception led to a field goal. That was a gift.
You're talking about the fourth down pick? I've seen worse defense DPIs not get called. And then he cost him the game by throwing his helmet, where Doug Peterson was going to kick the extra point, like, I'm at the 1 yard line. I'll just go for 2 and have Lawrence jump over the top. So having said all that, Herbert didn't play a great game to pin. If you're going to pin that loss on him, oof.
No, I'm not pinning the loss on him, but it just, you could have done more, kid. You didn't do anything. 1 touchdown.
Other than
all
missing
that talent out there, you can only get Keenan Allen the ball 6 times for 61 yards. Come on, you're the second.
God,
how about running the ball?
Did you want 7 carries, 7 yards for the Chargers in the second half?
I'm talking about Herbert. Run, bro.
He had a scramble for a first down. He had a big scramble for a first down.
I know. Just he had to do more of that. He needed it. He needed to manufacture like Josh Allen did yesterday. Like
He
he
had
said,
somebody in
"F
his
this.
face. Oh my God.
I'm Mac
Yeah.
trucking your ass down there." He needs to play a little bit more like Josh Allen and like Trevor Lawrence. That's
I
all.
don't think he was great. I think he was operating under extraordinarily difficult circumstances. And,
pobrecito. Pobrecito.
that's funny.
Pobrecito niño.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd be saying that if
Yeah,
it was true.
I know.
Right?
Tua must have been under the best circumstances the last 2 years.
And you did nothing but make excuses for him. So why don't you make excuses for him?
I was just stating the facts that he didn't have anything around him. This guy at least still had the number one wide receiver there with him.
Who?
Come on, do something.
Who is the number one? His number one wide receiver is Mike Williams, who the head coach.
No, it's not. It's
took out of-
Keenan Allen.
You're crazy.
Keenan Allen.
Dude, you run faster than Keenan Allen, who's a very good receiver with great hands and runs great routes, but he is older and he is slow. And they also had
very injury prone too. Very injury prone also.
And their offensive line's a joke, and they were down to their third left tackle. The dude didn't have a shot. Come on.
The Dolphins have played 7 tackles. Almost won with a 7th rounder on the road, giving up a 27-point lead.
They have a better coach. They have a better coach than the Chargers.
All I know is that Tua would never give up a 27-point lead and 5 defensive turnovers.
That's
never.
Funny. That's funny. Oh, we'll have to find out the first time the Dolphins are up 27-0.
And 5 defensive turnovers.
And 5 defensive turnovers. Okay.
God, I thought they would add at least 14, 20 points in the second half. I said, there's no way they win. That's it. They've given this damn game away one way or the other.
The Chargers are going to charge her. That's what they do. That's what
they're going
they
to keep them too. They're actually keeping Brandon Staley. That's what the reports are.
But somebody made a great point that they're going to keep him because the Spanos family is cheap and they're not going to pay Sean Payton.
Oh no, that's actually 1,000% accurate. Yeah. That's why they are what they are. Yeah, the Spanos family is a terrible ownership group. Yeah, that's been rough. All right, what do you got going on? What do you got going on?
Not a coincidence that team can never get out of its own way. It's not a coincidence.
No. Hey, dude, ownership is everything, bro. Rarely do you overcome bad. It's happened. Obviously, it's rare. But when you have bad ownership, usually your team never gets over the hump. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. That's a handicap. So
today's
all about locker cleanout day on alldolphins.com. So
there you go. Lots of pictures of players celebrating champagne. We don't have to talk to Poop Art. So check it out there at Sports
giving me the finger. A couple giving me the finger too.
Couple. There you go. At least they're consistent. Follow him on Twitter at Poop Art NFL and catch his stuff right here twice a week, baby, with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And by the way, EJD stepping up. They are also going to be our sponsors in our Senior Bowl trip. So there you go. Thank you, Poop Art. Appreciate you. EJDconstruction.com.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
The way, do want to tell you, Sloman's Home Security, proud sponsor of our program. This company has been protecting Americans for over 100 years. And folks, we can give you a free doorbell camera right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME. And we give you that free doorbell camera. Tell them you listen to the Big O Show. And when you add our professional installation and when you use our low-cost central station monitoring, you're also getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery, and you will feel safe. You will know what's going on in your home, inside or out. If you want to put a camera inside, you can do it. We have one inside because we've got several dogs. We want to make sure the dogs are fine, so we get to check in with the dogs when we're away from the house. When I'm in the house, that doorbell camera saves me, because if I'm watching a game and I'm busy right now and I'm checking things out, and then I hear the doorbell camera ring, and then the dogs go crazy and run over to the front door, and then they're barking, and that person on the other door is scared as hell. By the way, the video is super funny to watch people how scared they are, because there's big dogs on the other side of that door, and they're going, oh my God, I'm about to get eaten. They all take a couple steps back, by the way. It's funny as hell. But if they're selling something and I don't want to answer, I just let the dogs and bark, and they run away and they leave me alone. Now, it might be a delivery for me food or whatever, then I'll go get my food, right? Try to stop the dogs from eating them. And, that's what I love about the doorbell camera. Now, it is mighty cold. It is mighty cold here in Florida. Not that we need the heating oil, but for our friends in parts of California or Connecticut or New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Virginia, Georgia, guess what? Sloman's Home Security also can sell you heating oil. That's right, baby. 1-866-OIL-DEAL, and we got a great deal going on right now. So we got fixed prices to save you hundreds of dollars in the long run. All you got to do is call them. You know what you're paying for heating oil, right? You know what you do in Maryland, in New York, in New Jersey, in Connecticut. You know exactly what you're paying for oil in Virginia and in Georgia to keep your house or your business warm. You know what the price is. So just call and compare. 1-866-OIL-DEAL. Mention the Big O Show wherever you're at in any of these states and say, hey, what is your price? This is what I'm paying. And maybe they give you a better price. They probably will. And you're going to save yourself money and you're going to keep your family warm. And you're supporting the great sponsors like Sloman's that support our platform every single day. By the way, the Sloman's family, big Miami Dolphins fans too, on top of all of that. So they support the platform, support the great people that support our platform. Sloman's Home Shield. 1-866-OIL-DEAL. When for the heating oil. If you want to call for the free doorbell camera, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Big O, you need to get a bike and ride out with the Great West and smelling the wildflowers along the roads. I would like to do that. Get my wife, get on the bike, and go over to South Dakota, is it, right? For what's the name of that place? Sturgis. Love to go there. I want to go to Sturgis. That's my kind of place. I like it. I like it. What else do we have here? Reggie D. Herbert, Lawrence, Burrow, Mahomes in the AFC is not going to be easy. Oh, please. Get the right team and you'll get it done. Pat in Nashville says, Poopart is such a Herbert apologist. Damn. Lofi says Herbert showed up in December. Allen is slow postseason receiver. Jason, this is how big the Chargers games was for us. We could have played at Jacksonville instead of at Buffalo in round 1. I know. Alf, Gerald Everett was great this year, and he has the best pass catching running back in football. Herbert has more defenders than NATO. Good call there, Alf. I love that. That's funny. That's a good line, bro. Steve Rupert says BTO was great. Riding around Saturday night, listen to Taking Care of Business on the 8-track. There you go. Oh, what else do we have? The only reason the MM and Tua thing worked as well as it did, and that's not saying much, is because he inherited a ready-made team. He only improved the offensive scheme. He touched nothing. Well, Joseph, my man, Bubba, use a little common sense. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? That was the idea. The idea was he comes in, he knows offense, and he fixes the offense. The defense was set. So why go get a new defensive coordinator, change the scheme, and then you've got that adjustment? You get a new special teams coach, then you've got that adjustment. I don't know. That might have been a good adjustment. But either way, so the idea was for him to come in, keep the continuity that wasn't bad on those ends until this year with special teams. But overall, it wasn't that bad. Although Sanders was kind of losing it last year. And once you traded Jakeem, that really hurt special teams returns. But either way, I think they wanted as much continuity as possible for a first-year rookie head coach. So now that the first-year rookie head coach has the first year under his belt, he can now decide what he wants to do with the offense, to tweak whatever. If he loses Darrell Bevell to become offensive coordinator, well, then he's going to have to find another quarterback's coach in the process. So that will be also really important for him to kind of fix. But now, if he does want to get a defensive coordinator, he can do that because now he's got kind of the offense in a way settled. So that was the That was the idea. That was the method behind the madness, my brother. You cannot critique something that actually was smart to do. Normally, I don't like the human Jenga stuff. I don't like pulling one block out and putting another block in there to inherit everything else. I normally don't like that. But in this case, I kind of understood it. You need to fix the offense. You need to find out about Tua as soon as possible. You're running out of time because you've got to give him a contract within the next 2 years. So you've got to hurry this process up. But you don't want a rookie coach worried about the defense and the special teams. So instead, you come in and you have that already settled. Now, if he wants to start tweaking that, he can start to tweak that from here on out because he'll be a little bit more comfortable. But that, my man, was kind of part of the plan. Okay? And it worked, and it was good. If it wasn't for the injuries, that's where I disagree with you. If it wasn't for all the injuries and the terrible luck, this team would have been better, actually, in spite of the head coach's constant screw-ups with his decision-making and his play calling. Big O, whatever happened to Michael Dieter? He's there, bro, hanging out. Had a good year hanging out, watching Connor Williams play. He's the backup center. Is there a specific helmet for Tua next season? I would imagine he's going to use the Kenny Pickett helmet, which why he wasn't using that from the get-go after the Buffalo game, I don't know. The Blitz 0 is fine, and the game yesterday, he mixed it up pretty good. Hey, listen, the part I don't like I was telling with Marcel yesterday, and I know he was like kind of pointing it out, but what I didn't enjoy yesterday was the picking and choosing of when, oh, well, why did you do this with X and he got burned and you didn't give him safety help? Well, guess what? When they gave him safety help, they burned Kohu. On the first play of the game, they actually left him alone and they didn't blitz. They had a base defense. And guess what? They burned him either way. X is 70% X probably right now. He's going to give up plays whether you're blitzing or whether you're in a base coverage. You can't pick and choose when it works and it doesn't work. Yesterday, the guy played his aggressive play calling because he had to, because you got to try to keep this guy, off balance, and you got to attack him, and you got to try to hit him, and you got to get to him. And you got to take chances, unfortunately. Sometimes those chances are not going to pay off for you. Sometimes they are. Kohu has had a fantastic season. He has one little thing with him that he has in his game. The clutching, the grabbing, the holding, right? He probably commits a little too many of those. Now, just watch the game. There's a ton of players that are doing that all the time, but because he's a youngin', they're going to call that a little bit more often. And that's something he's got to clean up. But you don't get to pick and choose when Kohu does a great job and then, unfortunately, he gets, a penalty. And to me, that's the problem I had with all the Josh Boyer hate. That, first of all, look at his talent. It's depleted to hell. The secondary is a shell of what it was. It changes the entire complexion of that defense. And yet, as injured as that defense was all year and missing all the pieces every damn week. Yeah, they bent, but they kept you in every game. And I could literally actually point at the offense for every single loss this season, including yesterday. I just thought it goes overboard with Boyer. If he was fully healthy and all this stuff was happening, then I'm backing off and I'm saying, okay, guys. But as injured as it was, I thought he did a good job overall, man. I really did. But whatever. Martin Quinn says Tua needs a custom helmet that deploys little airbags. There you go. That's pretty crafty. You should come up with it because then you'll make yourself a lot of money. Big O, the Bills got 2 breaks yesterday. They fumbled a punt and recovered it. And remember, Chubb sacked and stripped Allen, and Buffalo recovered it. Man, both were in Miami territory as well. That's it. Jason says, as Ukama isn't a slot receiver, use Waddle in the slot. Said Wilson should be traded since we never used him and we have capable young wide receivers, Easy E and Braylon. Yeah, but remember the said thing was you acquired him before you knew Tyreek was going to be available. So that was going to be the plan. And I'm sure they're going to try to trade Cedric this year. They have no choice. They have to try to trade him. Gary says, I didn't like the excuse McDaniel used for the delay of game when it was 4th and 1. He said he was told it was first down, but they had, it doesn't matter. It just, that all falls on him that the whole thing's a disaster. Just like the challenges. Whoever you have up there sucks. That's pretty simple. Okay? Get rid of whoever is in charge up there of the challenges. Get somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. That's all. Big O can't wait to see Brandon Jones and Holland next year. Holland reminds me of a young Earl Thomas, and Brandon Jones reminds me of a young Cam Chancellor. I'm serious, guys. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope they're able to get it done. We are done here on the program. It is 1:30. We have done 3.5 hours of talk. So appreciate it. Big O noticed that Herbert is making commercials. Yeah, he's been making commercials for a while. Does that skunk soap or ape soap or zebra soap or whatever. I know it's some kind of animal or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but yeah, he does some commercial. Oh, and he does a banking commercial too. SoFi. There you go. Isn't that the arena, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's Money in the Bank. That's what he was this weekend. Money in the Bank with a 27-point lead. That guy is Money in the Bank, bro. He's going to bring the Chargers so many championships. I'm so jealous. God, I really wish we had him here. He'd bring all those titles here. He's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to look back and regret all those championships I'm going to see him lift with the Chargers. It's going to be tough. On behalf of Sean Stanley, who's always getting it done, Ira Winderman, Andy Behrens, and, of course, Alan Poupart, Marcel Louis-Jacques will join us tomorrow. And thank you all out there. If you sent in a super chat, if you sent in a Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, we appreciate you. Or visit our amazing sponsors, folks, okay? Whether it's Sports Grill, whether it's Hialeah Park, that's got the loosest slots out there. RedRecover.com, the wraps, they're 50% off. Take advantage. Take advantage, 50% off at RedRecover.com. So if you got pain in your body, we got a wrap for you. Go to RedRecover.com and get 50% off. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.